All right. Hopefully we are live right now and there is no silly clicking going on with the audio. Tell me if you guys hear clicking. Adrian, what's up, man? How does the audio sound? It's so weird seeing someone write Mass's roommate. Mass hasn't had a roommate in his life ever since college. So it's so weird seeing someone say that. Still getting used to it. What's going on, everybody? Sounding good? Good, good. Yeah, Mass first name is Johnny. Mr. Heedy, what? That's what I'm talking about. Good, good. All right, seems like the. All right, let's get KYP. What's up? J Beebs, Gorilla Gardener, Thunderous Mantis, Savvy, GFW. Adrian, what's up, my brother? Nice, nice, nice. I gotta throw Mr. Heaty's comment up. She hasn't been in here forever. Lucy in the sky with diamond hands. Much better, much better. All right, good. Carla says audio was great here in Bama. Nice. Thanks, Carla. Thomas B, what's up? Vineyards, how you doing tonight? Jeff W. Here's Johnny. Captain Arma, how you doing tonight? Gold Shark Mark, hello from Idaho. How you doing tonight, Mark? Have they found the killers of those girls yet? And the dude from, I forget what university it was from. Tony's on live? What in the smell? I texted him a bunch of times. Tony's on live right now. All right. Veronica, good to see you. How you doing tonight? Prometheus? Where is he? Dr. McLovin, what's going on? Oh, I'm glad the audio is not clicking. Anyone ask about Elon? Thomas says 8432. Listen, just hang on. Just hang on. Anyone ask about Elon, Kenny G, and Jared Kushner being VIP boxes next to each other? Ken Griffith, I'm assuming. Not the flutist, right? What's up with Donald Trump and Elon Musk all up in the news? I think Elon has become the media's new Trump. Bliss, how you doing tonight? No news yet, huh? How is it how does someone get away with killing 4 people in the same house, leaving alive 2 witnesses, and there's nothing they can go on? That's crazy. Gorilla God, you're at the World Cup? John's Touchpad, how you doing tonight? Thanks, Adrian. Appreciate that. By the way, who won that game? Did France win? Goldchuck Mark said, I voted to keep Elon as Twitter. Oh, did he put a poll up about staying on as CEO? Elon Kushner. Really? KYP. You saw the photo? I haven't seen this photo yet. Andrew, how you doing tonight? Let's see. Elon Kushner and Kenji all in the same photo. Wow. Jeez. That's not good. That's the last thing I want. Those Argentina won, Thomas? Okay. I think I saw last time it was 3-3, and then France got that boot smoke. Oh, really? Okay. I'm good. I'm good, Lucy. I'm good. Thanks. Appreciate that. Serial killer seems he's done this before. It was a great game, Veronica says. JH, what's going on, man? Yeah, I'm not the biggest into soccer, right? I'm not the biggest soccer fan. And if Greece isn't in the World Cup, I usually don't watch. But Michael, what's going on tonight? How you doing? Oh, really? Must be nice to have all that money, right? To go. I wish I had that money. If they had let AMC run, I could have gone. Oh, a lot of soccer fans in here. Hey, Katie May, what's going on? How you doing tonight? How did I I don't know. Maybe Tony didn't get my messages. I have no idea. I talked to a bunch of people tonight, but Javi, how you doing tonight? I know John. I think John Wick Sniping was on when I came right before I put up the post. But Javi in the house. Good evening, my friend. How you doing? Big Willie says, glad to hear your mic got clean. All right. So if you were on the live stream Friday night, at one point, you guys remember I kicked over my light that's at my feet and I said that my monitor went off. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but it hasn't turned back on since. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I got to get a new monitor. I think it's actually the plug. I was trying to troubleshoot it. I think when the light kicked over, it fell on the AC converter adapter box, whatever, and it must have smacked something in that. I don't know what, but it has not come back on since. Michael, thanks, man. Appreciate it. It took a lot of time to put this thing together. Months. Yuka, bro, are you for real? You know how long I was looking at this stupid bullshit all day today, trying to find this for tonight? I'm like, what is with the Seinfeld bullshit? What is this? Unbelievable, man. You had me going all around looking for. I'm like, all I keep getting is Seinfeld references. All right, Yuka, you're in trouble, man. You had me on a wild goose chase. Yeah, I think John Wick sold his AMC. He's doing something. Man, you're not funny, bro. You had me all over the place. I'm like, I must be spelling it wrong. I'm like, Sacramento. I'm like, I can't read my own handwriting. This isn't good. That was a good one, though. I got to give it to you. Red Star 7311, how you doing tonight, man? Good evening. Let me see. I missed anybody? Prometheus? What's going on, my man? I got to write down all my mods that are here so I can make sure I shout them out. All right, so I got Adrian, Prometheus, Lucy, Prometheus. Who else I got? Who did I miss? Diaz? Javi. Okay. Andrew, how you doing tonight? I see Mr. Smith. Good evening, my friend. How you been? Fucking Vandalay. Vandalay you. Lucy said, I want $10 for my MMT LP. What's the deal? How many? That's been on 10 days now, right? Since they took it off? I mean, they got to make a call on that one way or the other, right? You either, I don't know, it's Krillin. He did the same thing to KC, Savvy. Yeah, dude. I was like a dog chasing a bone today. I'm like, come on, Vandalay. I'm like, it can't be about Seinfeld. I'm like, I'm missing something big here. I'm like, it's probably important. I'm going to miss the whole story. JH says, Lucy, I like the way you think. G Immortal, how you doing tonight? Ryan Monty, the Elon KG photo isn't KG. KG, what? Way better than that. Oh, Thomas, you got your cost average is way down, bro, huh? I thought it was higher than that before. Good stuff. Good stuff. Doug McLovin says, who's going to new pump and dump CEI? So what's the news on that? Let me pull this thing up because I was looking at it earlier. Share screen. Hopefully we don't get any lagging here. Put this up. Okay, so 50-1 reverse stock split. And what's the date on this? This is from the 16th. Which the company expects to occur as of open of the market in December 2020 will reduce from 1 million to 20 million. 1 billion to 20 million. Sorry. So is that that's the new pump and dump this week? CEI? Yeah, man, I don't know. Vile Cal, how you doing tonight? Good, Javi. Good, man. How you doing, Javi, by the way? Yeah, I'm interested to see who's going to be pumping this thing. It'll be the same characters, especially after the SEC just announced the lawsuit. I don't know if you guys saw the news. 8 social media influencers, 100 million stock manipulation scheme promoted on Discord and Twitter. It's not YouTube, huh? Let me see if I can pull this up. don't know if you guys heard about this, but Christian Princess, how you doing there? He is streaming too? Right? Why are we not streaming together? This is retarded. I sent him 2 messages, so I know he got them. Maybe he has something else he wants to talk about. Wrench Capital says upgrade your computer with tax refund if possible. Papa Bob says. Adrian says Seinfeld, the greatest sitcom in human history of ever. Yeah, I know. You know what? My roommate, I was going to say, my roommate in college was a huge Seinfeld fan, and he kind of got me into watching it. I didn't really have a choice when we were living together. We only had one TV in college. Savvy says, Yuki, you make live streams fun. Just send link over to Twitter. Oh, okay. Hold on one sec. Let me send this over. He might say you might want to come on for a little bit. One sec. Twitter. And I need to pull up the... hold on. I think it should still be saved here. Just send link. All right. Let me just hit paste and see if that comes up. Yeah, I think this is okay. Oh, no. Shit, that's not it. Hold on one sec. Scav, let me give me 1 second. I gotta run to the lobby to grab the link for this so I can send it to Scavenger on Twitter. Give me 1 sec. Okay, we're back. I just sent him the link on Twitter, so he should be getting it any second now. What am I hearing at AMC? I'm hearing there may be a good run next month. Thoughts, says Thomas B. I think that right now, so we got the numbers back from Avatar, right, for the weekend, and it was, I think 435 global. Yeah. Avatar 2 breaks box office record held by Spider-Man No Way Home. 435. So it underperformed in the US at 127.1, and then 181 was global. And they expected 415 to 435. So we're right at the top end of where they were expecting the numbers to be. So I'm happy with that. Lupe, how you doing tonight? Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And I think, listen, I think this quarter is going to be much better. The best thing about this quarter, besides the numbers, and I think they're going to trounce anything we did last quarter, right? I mean, it's going to be a spectacular showing compared to that Q3, because the Q3 was so bad. But Avatar is going to help on both quarters. So my look at this and looking into what's coming in 2023, and it's like, we keep putting this thing further and further and further down the road. But what else can we do now? Everyone who held through 72 and is now back here is not going anywhere. So I guess we just keep talking and we keep figuring out what to do. I know a lot of people were talking about on the 27th and 28th going to DC to protest. I saw some people making videos about the other day. And I think I'm gonna start to get involved with that, because I think if we get more people from maybe hopefully like some recognizable faces, I don't know. But I think the more people from YouTube who are actually invested in the stock, who actually are holding it right now, the more people we can get down in DC, the better. So I've been trying to contemplate whether I should go or not. But I just want to see. I need to get I want to make sure we get support from other people before I just show up and make an embarrassment out of myself. Alan, how you doing tonight? What's going on? But I think that this quarter, and what I was saying about Avatar is, I was looking at the numbers from the first one, right? And this is obviously a little different because Avatar now is now a known entity, right? But the first weekend, they did 100. They were up 107% on ticket sales. Second weekend, 71.5%. Third weekend, 121.2. Fourth weekend, 128.8, and the fifth weekend was 135.8, all up consecutively week after week. And I think you'll see that with this movie too. I think because it's not something where there's a ton of spoilers and it's not like connected to a larger world with like the DCEU or the MCU, and people, rush out to those movies to go see them before it gets spoiled for them because, there's all kinds of cameos and, and then, different endings after the credits, whatever they're called, cutscenes at the end. Avatar's not that kind of movie, right? A lot of people might have said, you know what, opening weekend's going to be bonkers. Let's not go this weekend. And so I think that this will help in both quarters on both bottom lines for Q4 and Q1. And just looking before the end of Q2 next year, which I was just looking at some of the movies that are coming out. We have like 4 or 5, I think, in Q2, like blockbuster movies, like Mission Impossible, big time movies, right? Andrew says Avatar 2 box a little unexpected. Link might hurt it as far as repeat viewers. It definitely could hurt it as far as repeat viewers, right? For sure. Yep. Jenny says, "Oh my God, it's every day." And I have not been saying. I've said, "Wake me up when it happens." Yeah, I definitely haven't been hearing that, Jenny. Here, Rarefied Tennis, how you doing tonight? All is well, man. Hope all is well with you. All is well. Yeah, I couldn't make a video tonight because of losing my monitor on Friday night. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go on for a little bit. People getting ready for Monday. I don't know. I was gonna talk to Tony about it tonight. But I guess he's doing his own live. So I don't know if they fixed the album. That was like my big thing tonight. I wanted to know. Does anybody go to AMC this weekend to see the movie and have any like serious issues? Alan says you're in to go to DC, bro. Yeah, like we need to, if we're gonna do this and go to DC, we need to like really pump it up. We need to get people involved. We need to get like, guaranteed people are gonna show up. Not so much you guys, right? Although the more of you, the merrier. Like the more of all of us, the merrier. We're all in the same boat. So the Vineyard says you need strength in this play. Yeah, 100%. You need mental fortitude. They've been beating the shit out of us. I can't even stand some days to look at my portfolio. I'm so disgusted. Yeah, Alan, we need to get a lot of people to do this if we're going to make it down there. We definitely do. Greg, how you doing tonight? Good evening. Billy87, what's going on, my friend? How you doing tonight? Yeah, Adrian, GG won't go on with no way he'll go on with Charles Payne. Charles Payne would rip him to shreds. And he knows Payne, right? Andrew says no more effing softball. That's what I was just Yeah. Exactly. I know. How does that not come up in conversation? One of the biggest scams ever just was exposed and doesn't even get picked up. Goosh, you got time, man. Hopefully you'll be feeling better by the end of January. Yeah, KYP, right? He should be down there to protest. Yeah. Oh, we got a guest stopping in. Just wait till he gives me the okay. Got a weird camera angle right now. It's looking at the ceiling. Vic C says problem with Avatar's length. Not going because it's too long, especially for kids. That happened to me this weekend. I couldn't take my buddies. You guys know my. You good? You good? Okay. Give me 1 sec. So yeah, I was gonna take him, and his mom's like, "There's no way he's gonna sit through a 3-hour movie." And then I realized that I'm like, yeah, he has ADD through the roof. Like it's 10 times worse than mine. So that would just been a miserable experience for me. All right, I'm bringing on Scav right now. Hang on. Hello.
How are you doing, buddy?
Way to open up.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was just taking a sip of my beer and then I choked on it
All
a little
good.
bit.
How you doing? All
How are you
right.
doing? Hey,
I'm good, man. I'm good.
you know how it's been. It's been a hectic couple weeks, but I seen you were going live tonight and you texted me. I was like, hey, it's been a long time since you and I've kind of got behind a camera together. So as always, I'll always say it.
Yeah.
It's an honor definitely to be here. So appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming on, man. Always, always. So what have you been up to or anything? I know I saw your video from the other night, but like, have you been anything outside of the circles?
Just
Any news?
sappy news. Just some family
Okay.
stuff going on. But other than that, that was about 2 weeks ago now. So just kind of keeping my mind up and getting back to the grind of things. So I still, I feel like I owe it to everybody to keep the videos pumping out. And, there you can be a sad winner or a sad loser. So we gotta keep things running and keep the train never stops. So especially when we're talking about AMC, obviously. So I'm a diehard AMCer, so just got to keep things rolling.
Yep, I know. I feel the same way. I was saying the other night, Friday, last time we went on live. I'm like, I did days in between videos, and I was, in like a dark place, just because we got in this, our teeth kicked in so hard. But
Yeah.
the thing is it doesn't matter. Like wherever you are in your headspace, you need to get out of that and get out there, right? Because you can't just shut yourself off. And this is a thing that we've all been in together for so long. So to leave now just seems like the biggest pussy thing to do right now. Like
Oh yeah.
whatever, I mean, just only true losers would drop out right now at this point. There's so
Yeah.
few of us left too,
It's insane. I was just talking about it with someone in the comments today. I always try to. You're the same way. I see your comments in your videos, but I always try to like engage with people as much as I can in my comments, which is difficult when you have a lot of people coming in. But I try my best to acknowledge the familiar faces as much as possible. But yeah, I mean it's we're losing. We've been losing. None of this is new news. This has been happening, but we've been losing YouTubers for a long time. So. I don't know what other people have done, but I've definitely prepared myself for a long time for this to occur because I was pretty sure this was going to happen. So, now it's time for us to pick up the slack for that, right? We've been, posting content, but it's important, at least for myself, I'm going to stay out there and, the mission's not over until it's over. And, I focus on one thing and one thing only. And after that thing's over, we'll move on to something else. But I'm not getting saturated with these other other plays people are getting into. I'm focusing strictly on AMC and I'm holding to that. Obviously other things going on. There's a lot of things aside from AMC, in regards to our economy taking place right now. But it's been an insane couple weeks just with the whole FTX collapse. I still don't think people understand that's just the first domino to fall. I mean, if we go way back, Archegos, obviously, but like
Right.
we all these conspiracy theorists, right, which I would consider myself one. To me it's factual, but to other people I'm a conspiracy theorist. But FTX really opened our eyes to another way, not the only way, but another way that AMC, we wonder, everybody's been sitting here wondering, where are these shares coming from? How are they able to drive this price action down? And we're finally starting to see some of the ways that they've been doing so, right? With FTX loaning out shares to brokerage firms, hedge funds, market makers, whatever it may have been, it doesn't matter. The reality is we're finally in a situation with this play where we're starting to see how these things have been happening. And obviously when the retail investor finds out how these things happen, they can no longer do those things anymore. So I feel like this has been a race, a drag race, and retail investors with this are finally starting to catch up to that other car. And it's a
Yes.
really glorious feeling. It really is. I mean, I'm stoked. I mean, I'm a pretty bullish guy, uppity guy, but like I'm telling you right now that right now I am stoked. I really am.
Mhm.
And I'm feeling really good about things. But that's me personally, and I know you have patience too and everything, but I don't want to speak for you. But like me, my patience has been great. I'm feeling great about everything. And, um, I'm just happy. I really am. I really
Yep.
am.
I think ignore Yuka Frida. Anything he says about Vandalay Industries is absolute garbage. Yeah, he had me on a 3-hour chase today. Yeah, man, I hear you. And you know what? In saying like keeping up the optimism and continuing to come back day after day, it's a
Hmm.
grind, right? And especially taking the hit financially, right? Because it's not just the sad state of the affairs of the world, but it's also, I've seen my portfolio get drained. I mean, like someone just opened,
Yeah.
hit a release valve and just the money poured out. From crypto to whatever, to stocks, to the meme
Hmm.
stocks, to even my long-term stocks that I'm invested in have taken a huge hit. So it's tough. It's a grind to get out there, but I definitely think that staying in the game, getting proactive, and just at least getting out there, and giving people the voice, is huge, right? We need to keep that up because no matter what, this fight between retail and the hedgies is going to be going on for a while until they start fixing things at the higher ups with the SEC and they start, making more transparency, even in the playing field. We're going to be in a fight. So I don't know tell me what your thoughts are about this protest. Have you heard about the protest on
Yeah,
2728?
I did, as a matter of fact, and I actually posted something in my community tab today, and then just deleted it right after because I'm like, if I even talk about this, it's probably better that I do in person. So it's probably a good time now to like,
Okay.
because people misinterpret words, right?
Hmm.
Words don't have emotion to it. So, my thoughts on the protest, at least my perspective. Hopefully, people don't get angry, and if they do, sorry, but I feel like I've been protesting every day. I don't
Yeah.
need to go put my boots on the ground, you know, to put what I want to put out there. Like we have this tool of YouTube, like our message has already came across and I don't I'm trying to like find a way to say this. Like I personally just don't see what going there is going to do other than everybody standing in a big group and nothing coming out of it. Like I feel like there's more strategic ways to get what we want to, than going in a protest. I mean, at the end of the day, like, there's a lot of people that don't even know what the protest is about. Like, what am I going to go protest about that the shorts haven't covered their position yet? I mean, AMC, like, don't get me wrong, manipulation and stuff takes place in AMC every day. The SEC's acknowledged the manipulation that takes place with AMC, but all they can do, like they said, not sticking up for the SEC. I'm not a fan of the SEC at all, but like the SEC's literally told us numerous times that they can only write proposals and the rules that the Congress gives them. So for me, I would rather spend my time doing the YouTube. Like, I don't need to go to a protest to get my point across. And if somebody wants to go, that's completely, I don't have a view on it. Like, if that's what you feel is something that should be done, you're an investor. Like, you have the right to do whatever you want in this country. But for me, my protest against the corruption is holding stock. I mean,
Hmm.
and like I said, I protest every day. If I didn't, I wouldn't be making these videos. Every video that I make is a protest. I just went over my YouTube analytics and I've had 1 million people, and it's not even about the numbers, but we reach out to so many more people than we even understand. Like 1 million people, and they're clicking on the videos because they're all AMC investors just like us. And that's just on YouTube. How many more AMC investors aren't even on social media, right? Like, I just, I don't
Hmm.
look down on people that want to go to a protest, but me personally, you know, I just don't. I'm not going to do it if that makes sense. It doesn't make me a sissy
No,
or
I was
anything
just
like that, but
I'll give you the counter argument that I have on why
mhm.
I want to go do it. So my counter argument, and it's kind of blending right in with what KYP says. The problem is we never do put boots on the ground, and honestly, and that to me rings true, right? Because
Yep.
this does go far, right? Where we have this platform, which is awesome, and we can broadcast this out. But but I think KYP makes a good point. Like that is one of our major issues. We never had put boots down. Normally, when that happens, that's always the thing. When boots are on the ground, it's game time. Now, whether or not that's going to make a difference, I don't know, right? But for me, just doing this since April of last year. So now what? We're coming up on like 18 months straight.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm ready to give anything a shot at this point. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
I don't think it will hurt us. So is me
Oh, I
taking a trip
agree.
down to DC? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it will hurt us. If we can get any recognition on media, if people show up, if the local media or national media shows up because we have enough there, that would be a good thing for us, I think. I don't think it could hurt us. So I'm ready to try anything at this time. That's my, I guess, my counter argument to it, that I'm just down for anything, I just don't think I don't think it would hurt us. Now, a year ago, before, when other people were talking about doing this, I thought there was like still a lot of January 6th swirling around and like bad actors that people would throw in, all those kind of things, I was worried about that. I was worried about them sending to us, and especially with not having enough people there who could regulate, right? Like, at least I know if I'm somewhere, I can at least regulate my my area, right? I can keep that under control to the best of my ability. But I just thought that maybe it was too soon after that to go up to another federal protest, right? And everything that happened, just all of it combined. I was just nervous, and I didn't want to. And I saw people saying like they're nervous about them delisting it and all those kind of things. But at this point now, I'm like, you know what? If they're going to delist the stock because we get on there and protest, I mean, that tells me something's seriously wrong. And that means Gary Gensler should step down. He's not doing his job right. That's my biggest thing right now, is that the SEC and Gary Gensler clearly are getting a free pass because they haven't done anything, nothing. So I'm just willing to give everything a shot now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. We pay for, people forget that these people are employed by our tax dollars. We pay for these guys to do a job, and clearly it's not a surprise that they're failing at it. And there was this whole thing. What was the hedge fund of FTX? Alameda. How do you say that? Yeah, Alameda.
Yep.
Gary Gensler had ties directly to that fund, and that's swept under the rug. And I think that's one of the biggest problems here. You have regulators in our Securities Exchange Commission, which, realistically speaking, the SEC's bottom of the barrel when it comes to regulation. I mean, FINRA, they're way higher up the totem pole than the SEC, right? So, but you have these regulators who are directly involved with these bad apples. That the SEC's been investigating FTX for 3 years. You're telling me they didn't know that none of their stuff was backed by actual stock or coin?
Right.
I mean, that's some insane stuff that took place. And so going back to the protest, I'm not against the protest, but when I look at the overall picture, like, these bad apples are burning themselves out. Like, will a protest speed things up? Completely, entirely possible. But, these guys are burning themselves out. Why? Because retail investors aren't buying blue chip stocks, which, 10% of the wealthiest people in the world own 80-something% of all the stocks. So when you have retail investors who have a stock like AMC completely locked, the float, and that's all apes are buying, that's all retail investors are buying, their Ponzi scheme that they've been running for so long doesn't work anymore. And all these, stacked companies that go way down the line that we can't even get our hands on to even know they exist because they're so deep into that tunnel, they're burning themselves out every single day. I mean, who would have ever thought a $40 billion exchange would fail? Who would have ever thought a company like Binance, they're all fine, right? They all come out on camera and tell you, yep, we're fine, until the day they're not.
Yeah.
Just because they come out and tell you they're fine, that's awesome. I mean, Credit Suisse does the same thing, and we all know where Credit Suisse is going. Even if Credit Suisse gets a government, bailout, which it's entirely possible because our government seems to bail out anybody in trouble, they're going to fail. All that does, getting bailouts, is kick the can down the road. And, these these companies, these, you know, institutions, these corporations have lost so much money because the middle class, the ones that spend the money in our economy, are so tight on cash that they can't even keep their corporations propped up anymore because middle class isn't going out and buying the things that they need us to buy. And they're it's a flame, and the oxygen's being taken away right now, in my opinion. So, you know, would a protest speed things up? Entirely possible, but I think that regardless, the end game is inevitable for what is going to happen. You know, we've learned so much in the past 12 months, you know, about how there's way more money on this planet than we ever thought there was, how the government can print endless amounts of money. Like, I know people get a little freaked out about the CBDC thing, but like at the end of the day, like, if they give us CBDCs and say your US dollar is not worth anything, you're getting CBDC, we don't really have a choice. I mean,
No, you
you
don't.
can resist all you want, but at the end of the day, like,
You
I
want to
don't
go
know
home?
what
You
you
want to go to
want.
jail? You want to go to jail? You want to
Yeah.
go home? It's like one of those,
I
right?
mean,
You want to
yeah.
you want
Do
to
you want
live
to
and
pay your house
survive?
mortgage or not? You
Right,
know? Yeah.
right,
I
right.
mean, so it's a situation where I think that, you know, with our overall market, I think we'll probably, I make this analogy all the time, you know, it's like keeping that animal alive, that you got to keep taking it into the vet to get surgeries. And at the end of the day, like, eventually the surgeries aren't going to work anymore. Like, that's what we're seeing in our market right now. The market's getting it an injection. So we've had a 3-day sell off from the FOMC meeting, which I figured the market was already structured for a 50 basis point rate hike. Obviously, it had a big sell off after that. I think a lot of institutions were hoping for no rate hikes and maybe a pivot in the near future. But, you know, Jerome Powell spoke, and that's not anywhere soon. How do you bring inflation down when our government repeatedly, you know, prints more and more money? Like, they're fighting our own government right now, and I think we're going to be in a situation where we're going to keep seeing these pumps in the market, but eventually that bottom is going to fall out. And that's when these hedge funds that, you know, are heavily short and heavily overexposed, like the banks that are overexposed, are going to implode. And it's going to be insane when that occurs. It's going to be absolutely insane. Um, I was just reading today, JP Morgan, what a scumbag. I hate JP Morgan, but the
What'd you
original
read?
JP Morgan, that the whole time, you know, the conspiracy that kind of goes around with the whole Titanic insurance job. Have you ever heard about that?
No, maybe fill me in. Maybe I
Okay.
have.
So we're going through the rabbit hole now, but this is interesting. This has to do with JP Morgan, the original JP Morgan, and obviously the bank was his bank, etc. But original JP Morgan. So the Titanic, there was a sister ship of the Titanic. It was called the Odyssey. I want to say Odyssey. Yeah, it was the
Okay.
Odyssey, or Olympus. I'm sorry, it was the Olympus. So you had a
Okay.
sister ship of the Titanic that was the Olympus. The Olympus was almost brand new. And the Titanic was getting old. It was decaying, falling apart. And obviously back then the insurance policies on these, you know, biggest boats ever created were very high. So when the Titanic sank, now they're going down there seeing that the Titanic paint, the part of the Titanic, you can look this up for yourself, but Olympus is starting to show behind the Titanic. And the theory is that um, they didn't have the funds to buy another boat. So instead, what they did was they switched over the Olympus to the Titanic, and then they sank the Titanic. Or I'm sorry, the Titanic was a brand new boat. Olympus was the old boat. What they did was they switched the names, so they sank the old boat. They knew it was unfloatable at that point. When it sank,
Okay.
they got the insurance money for it. And the day before the Titanic set sail, there were a
Yep.
bunch of high bank people that were on that boat. The only person that canceled last second the day before the Titanic sank was JP Morgan. He wasn't on that
Really?
boat when it sank. And every other bank executive on that boat died that night.
Really?
Yep. And it was JP Morgan. So they
Interesting.
got a
I
massive insurance payout on that. And but I
what
thought it
what
was
what
interesting.
what were you saying about the paint? The name on the paint?
Mhm.
The ship on the bottom of the ocean right now. You can see it starting to peel away.
Yeah, so they go down there and do their, you know, their camera stuff on it, but
Mm-hmm.
where it says Titanic, that start, you know, it's been down there for so long, it's starting to, you know, rust and things like that. And as the wording or paint or whatever it was starts to fall away, you can start to see the words that would make Olympus. It's really interesting stuff.
No
like
way.
I encourage you to read on it. Obviously, this,
I gotta go check that
at this
out.
point in time, nothing would happen, but this is the same bank that causes a lot of the corruption now, that it dates all the way back to the freaking Titanic when this shit started, So
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
insane. Yeah, so
That's
Ryan Morty
crazy.
said 3 bankers died on that boat. Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right. So that's all true, huh?
it is. I mean,
Huh.
right, we're
Interesting.
conspiracy theorists, right? But yeah, it's down there.
Yeah.
You can see there's pictures of it, but it's all picture proof. You can see it all. It's an interesting read. It's I mean, it's at this point, all the stuff that was kind of swept under the rug doesn't matter because that was how long ago, right? But it's a pretty interesting thing. So
That is pretty interesting. That is, I gotta check that out about the name thing. That would be a big giveaway for me if that's the case. That would seem very shady to me.
yeah.
Let's see. I just want to take Andrew's thing. He says, personally, I don't have it in me to buy any more APE or AMC. Satisfied my shares. Something needs to move a bit, and I will feel better. Yeah, Andrew, I think a lot of people are kind of in that boat. I've heard a lot of people say that about parking their shares, and I don't know. I get it. I get where everyone's coming from. Like, I understand the frustration. Believe me. And someone was saying earlier, like the people who are still in it right now on YouTube are the actual people who invested. And that's probably a pretty statement, I would think, at this point. Anyone who's out of doing AMC YouTube videos, then they're probably not. The reason why I'm doing this is because I'm trying towards my own cause, right? I'm trying to help my own portfolio along with everyone else that I need to continue to hold with me. That's held this whole time through, right? So, yeah, I understand people, not willing to budge right now because they're out of frustration. I get it. I'm not gonna shit on anyone who says that because I understand exactly where they're coming from. And if I didn't, maybe I would take this a lot more lightly. But like the thing with the protest to me, it's like when people say boots on the ground make a difference, like to me, that's motivation. Like, okay, maybe that's what we need. Maybe there needs to be something like that just to get the ball moving. Who knows? Maybe it will be something like that sparks it. I'm not looking to turn it into kicking in the doors or anything. I just wanted to be made known that things are going wrong, and it's hurting the retail investor right now because the stock market's almost rigged to a point at this point.
Oh, it is for sure.
Where you can't be. Yeah.
I mean, you see it
Ryan
with
Monty says
options
rabbit
trading.
hole. Yeah.
You see it though with
Good.
options trading. I mean, these market makers. I just talked about it on the video that I put out today. Sorry if I talk over you too. I have a little bit of delay in my headset, so just if I have to shut up, I will. But I talked about it on my video today. Like, it's 100% that the true supply and demand isn't there. Like, obviously we know that, there's many market makers out there, but let's be real, the two that dominate are Citadel Securities and Virtue Financial. And these companies, literally, it's public information if anybody wants to go look at it, but they inevitably get to control the supply and demand. We can see it with Citadel's balance sheet. The balance sheet we get from Citadel is months prior. It's old news. It's quarterly, right? But these companies get to sell you something and wait to go buy it when they feel like it at a good price or however long they want to, right? So when we get into a situation where you look at AMC, for instance, if a million investors went out and bought AMC tomorrow, Citadel is going to hold that negative balance in their balance sheet, give you the AMC shares, and wait to purchase, the AMC shares on the real lit exchange whenever they feel like it. And, that's a big problem with payment for order flow, right? They're inevitably in control of everything that takes place. I'm not trying to go down the rabbit hole back to FTX, but, this is the same thing with crypto and stuff. Like, everybody's fearful for a big crypto crash. It's like, you don't have to, like, I'm not concerned over a crypto crash because, like, do I think crypto is going to go down? Yeah. But do I think it's going to zero? No. Why? Because FTX, for instance, people bought Bitcoin on FTX. Guess what? FTX never actually went out and bought the Bitcoin.
Purchased that Bitcoin, right?
So you never even seen the true supply. $40 billion. Like, picture that. All these cryptos out there. $40 billion distributed throughout all these cryptos. You never got to see $40 billion ever touch that cryptocurrency. So
Right.
Bitcoin, you know what I mean? So Bitcoin
Yeah.
realistically could have been at 100K right now, but they never actually went out and bought it. And who's to say that Binance actually went out and bought it? You know,
I
they
don't
failed
think they
their
have
audit.
either. I think they're in the same boat,
Probably not.
honestly. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. I
I think they're
mean,
next to go.
you know, but that's what I'm saying. So the supply and demand thing, like, how can there be a demand when, you know, they're selling you something and they never actually fulfill the deal? You know,
Went
they're
out to
here you
purchase it.
go. Yeah, here you go, Mass. Here's this $100 or here's this $100 check, but then it never cashes. That's exactly
Hmm.
what's happening right
Yep.
now in our markets. And you know, Binance, like I said, they come out, yeah, we're okay, we're okay. And you know, not to spin down the crypto rabbit hole, but obviously we've seen that they're backing their tokens with shares of stock that they're not actually backing by shares of stock. So how do you think cost to borrow so low on some of these hard to borrow stocks? Guys, we got our answer for that. We know how it's
Yeah.
so low. They're going to these crypto exchange or these exchanges and borrowing one for one crypto, playing stupid like they have no idea what's going on, but they all know what's happening. But there's so many layers that they've gone through that it's hard for people to track it. Like they know the game, they're playing the game, and they know how to play the game. And the fact we know this now is a big thing, in my opinion. So
Yeah. Yeah. That was a big revelation. I wonder to myself sometimes. I remember a few months back, we posted something about Kevin O'Leary saying that he was talking to, I forget who the interviewer was. I think it might have, I don't want to say that because I could be wrong, but he was talking about a big fund that he's aware of, a big fund out there that's highly over leveraged and in big trouble. I remember back we were talking about it a couple months ago when he did an interview, and now looking back, I'm wondering. I'm like, there's no way he would have been talking about FTX because he was involved with FTX, so he had to know this day was coming. So for him to say something like that would be crazy, but you just never know. Same thing with Binance. Like I think a lot of look, the guy ran around and spilled his guts for 2 weeks all over the mass media, and then the day before he's about to go in and testify in Congress, he's arrested.
right.
Come on, enough. I mean, you don't need to be
Yeah.
a conspiracy theorist to see that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so everyone got to ask him questions, but Congress. So everybody he had free range at him, but Congress.
Yeah. Oh,
And
please give me
Congress is probably people who
vegetarian.
arrested him.
Yeah. Please give me vegetarian meals. Like, are you serious? Like, you got to
I
be
know.
kidding me. How about
I
the
know.
people that
I
went
know.
bankrupt from you that have nothing left? Are they still going to get their vegetarian meals? Like,
I know.
I don't even want to state
I know.
publicly what he deserves. And every politician that took a donation from him, they should all be lined up, and you can fill in the blank on the rest.
Dude,
But
the chairman of the House Finance Committee took some of the biggest donations when she was asked if she was going to return them. She didn't say no. She said, "Well, Republicans took it too."
right,
Okay, so I guess it's all right then. I guess then it's totally fine as long as both parties are doing it. No harm, no foul, right? And that's why I say that I'm pretty much like right down the middle because I think both sides have corruption up the wazoo, and there's maybe like 5 or 10 Congress people that are worth their weight in salt, as far as I'm concerned. And hopefully, I was hoping that maybe we'd be able to find a congressperson before that 2-year anniversary comes up. Like if we were able to get a congressman to come to the SEC with us that would be willing to get some legislation going, that would be big. That would make it worthwhile. If we got boots on the ground there and had a congressman with us who was going to bring a bill to the floor to, let's just start very simple, ban PFOF. That takes a huge problem out of the game immediately as far as supply and demand leveling the playing field. So let's just start with that one thing, banning PFOF across the board. You do it, we close your firm down, that's it, you're done.
right.
You do not get a second chance. There's no penalties. There's no you can't pay a fine. That's it. You're done. And if we did something like that, to me that would make a huge difference in getting us on the right track back to a more normal market, right? That's not completely, just it's compromised right now. As far as I'm concerned, it's compromised. So
Yeah.
I'm so nervous about getting these plays with the volatility of the market, plus the uncertainty of what on any given day can happen, it's really hard to make decisions as like, day trading or anything like that. I've just stayed away from all of it because it's so volatile. It's so volatile. You just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that, like, this is just to touch on what you just said, the fact that somebody that our regulators regulate, like Citadel Securities, how is it even legal for Citadel Securities to donate to politicians? How is it even legal for FTX, that's regulated by these regulators, to send the regulators donations? How? That's a bribe. That's not a
Pretty
donation.
much.
That's a
Right.
bribe. And this,
Right.
how is that even legal? We had those hearings a couple months ago with the banks. Like, our Congress people are sitting up there laughing. Oh, you're going to be getting this girl joining your team here, the corporate team of
Oh,
JP
yeah, I saw
Morgan.
that.
Like,
Yeah.
are you
Yeah.
serious? This is
Yeah.
a
It's a joke.
effing
Yeah.
joke. Like,
Yep.
that is
Yep.
insane stuff that takes place. And like, I do due diligence every day, and some of it I don't talk about publicly, but the deeper and deeper that I dig, like, I don't know about you, Mass, but me, like, I get sick to my stomach and want to throw up over it. It's like, it's disgusting. It is disgusting.
Yeah, it's
It's
pretty bad, man.
sickening. It's horrible. And
Well, yeah, you know me, man. I have had no problem going after the politicians this whole time I've been on this channel, pretty much. I mean, and people say I might have conservative views a little bit. That's probably true, but overall, I don't like either party. I think they both suck. I think we need a third party, the People's Party, that's an independent voice. And let me just say real quick, before I forget, and that goes out to any congressman. I don't care how they align themselves. I just want someone that has the balls to go on the floor and introduce the paperwork. That's it.
right.
So if anyone knows a congressman, I don't care what party they're in, as long as they have a little bit of cojones, I'm good. Go ahead. Go back to what you're saying. Sorry.
No, I totally agree with you. And like I said, like, I honestly am rooting for, like, this protest and stuff. Like, personally, I'm not the type of guy to put dates out there. I mean, I'm definitely optimistic on what's to come, but I don't think I'm probably going to get a lot of backlash for this, but I think this squeeze is going to be over before that protest. I
Oh, you
truly
do?
think
Okay.
I do, personally.
Okay.
Like I said, I could be totally wrong. Something, AMC could have its Q4 earnings and maybe it's not cash positive like I expect it to be, but I know the management team expects it to be. I know I expect it to be, and I truly believe, in my personal opinion, that the squeeze is going to occur before January 28th. Like I said, that's based off of, the assumption that AMC is going to have a cash positive Q4. And, after that, Q1 of next year, if it doesn't happen between now and the middle of January, I can tell you right now, we're getting into the popcorn industry at the beginning of next year. We're getting into the credit cards. Like, if it doesn't happen now, it's happening at the beginning of next year, period. Like, but I'm pretty
I hope you're
optimistic.
right, bro.
I
hope
think
you're
I
right.
am. And like I
All right.
said, I could be totally wrong, but I hate putting dates on things, but there's a lot of things lining up, and I just, with everything taking place right now, because you have to remember, when this thing ran up before, we weren't seeing all these entities falling around us. Right now is a very, very delicate time taking place, and I don't think that I don't think that these institutions and everyone around us are going to last much longer. I think there were a lot of companies exposed to FTX. I think that there's a lot of eyes on the SEC, and I think that there's a lot of rules that are going to come in. And I truly just think that, what AMC is strategically doing, rather, people are angry about Ape. I understand. That's the thing. If Ape would have came out and ran up to $10 and was sitting at $10 right now, nobody would bat an eye to it. We would be fine. But the fact that it went down and got attacked, people are pissed off. That's great. But we have to remember that Aron can't. We see CEOs coming out everywhere talking about how their companies are being naked shorted to the fucking ground. Sorry to swear, but like, what's Adam Aron gonna do? Go out and talk about it like these other CEOs? Like, the reality is this stuff happens, and like, it's not Adam Aron's fault that Ape got attacked to the ground. Like, AMC, in my opinion, at least as an investor, is performing very well. I think they're doing very well. And we see it with the volume. We see it with the inflow. Like volume's dead. Inflows 5 out of 6 days, 4 out of 5 days, inflow beats outflow on the stock. So more coming in than going out. And it's just getting attacked. And we see that, we're up to almost 80% or something that I seen last that's off exchange. Like, I mean, every retail investor could wake up tomorrow and buy a share of Ape, and chances are it would probably go down. So I don't, and most people know that. I mean, most people know that at this point, so I don't see why we would blame anyone other than the ones that are the bad apples doing this. It's annoying. Like, I want this thing to run up tomorrow and be done with it. Like, I understand. We feel the pain everybody else feels throughout this. We feel the rips, those green days feel great, and we feel the red days that are just annoying. But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't care if AMC goes down to 50 cents. Like, in order for them to close their shorts, they have to buy from us. And it has to hit our price targets and our price brackets at which we want to sell for them to close their position. So all the people out there that say, oh, shorts are up $8 billion, say they're not up shit until they close their position. Just like you and I aren't up anything until we close.
Just like we're not bag holding because we haven't sold yet. Right.
Shorts haven't made any money on AMC. Like, I don't care what anybody says. How do you make money on a stock shorting it when retail won't sell you the available shares? Like, they're not making money on it. And that's just my opinion. And I'm sticking to it.
Somebody wrote in the comments, full disclosure of short positions. That would be another great place to start, right? If we just had to start somewhere to start, full disclosure of short positions would be huge as well. MC, thank you, man. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Let's see. Let me get some comments here. Andrew says the fact that Aron has not said anything about Ape in months is shocking to me. And I like him. I don't think he's trying to screw retail, but come on. Yeah, Andrew, it would be nice if he came out and said something, right? It would be nice. I agree with you. I agree. Red Star says so many catalysts still coming. Waiting game. That's all it is right now, right? I feel like we're in this holding pattern, but it's almost like the story holding pattern. Just continually hold. But it is what it is at this point. I'm not like I said, I was in the run up to 70 and I'm all the way back down now. So at this point, to me, I would have to be out of my mind to try to sell now, knowing that they still have to buy these shares. So let's see. Dave says only when the tide goes out do you see who's swimming naked.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's a good analogy.
It is a good analogy.
I like that one. I'm putting that in my notepad.
It is good. I like that too.
Or read a few more, and then I just
okay. All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
CatScat5 says I absolutely Avatar. I've heard that's seen it has loved it, so that's good news. What do you want to say? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I try to remind people, because I'm sure you do too, but myself, I get comments all the time, not an email because I don't have my email address on YouTube, because that's just asking for people to reach out and try to buy me off, which will never happen. But I try to remind people, and I mean, seriously, you have these YouTubers that are like, oh, I could never be bought out, but they have their email right in their YouTube. Like, what do you expect to happen? You're going to have news media and stuff wanting to buy you out. Not saying you're going to be a sellout, but like, I just don't want them reaching out to me.
I never even really think a point. That's how I get a hold of you, right? Yeah.
It's different for you though, because you collab with a lot of people. So like, I understand, if you
I'm not big enough. I don't give a shit about me.
Yeah.
I don't sway near the influence of any of these. They're not coming for me anytime soon.
I try to remind people though. I always tell them, I'm like, like you just said, we've been in this thing for 18 months. Like, let's just call it 2 years. And it's like, it sucks. Obviously, we all expected this to take less time. I think we talked about it on the last live stream we had together, but I had mentioned, I'm actually kind of fortunate that this is taking as long as it is, not because people are down, but because it's showing us how these numbers that we have imagined before are entirely possible. And I try to remind people, even if this took another year, which, like I said, I just told you when I think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to take another year, but even if it did, the amount of money that this play, in my opinion, is going to make each individual investor, you're not ever going to make that again in the period of 3 years. I mean,
Yeah.
There's people
Yeah.
out there. I mean, my price targets on this thing, my price brackets that I'm feeling I'm gonna sell at, the amount of money that I'm gonna make just off of my position and those numbers, you could wait 20 years. I mean, honestly, like, and that's just what I try to remind people. Like that, I feel like that's a perspective. That's another perspective, another way to look at it. Because you know, yeah, 2 years feels like a lot, but the amount of money that this thing has a potential of making us, like, is 2 years really a lot? Is that
Right. In the
really a
grand
long
scheme of
time?
things. Right. In the grand scheme of
Right?
things. Right. For a
I
home run
mean,
hit, is it worth it? Yeah.
right, right.
Yep. Yep.
And that's just the way I look at it. I think this thing, I've said it on my channel, I think this thing has the capability of easily hitting five figures, easily. Obviously, we're going to take it day by day. Remember, this is a squeeze, so it's not going to stay there, right? This is a squeeze. This is something that's never occurred before, so you're never going to have someone tell you they understand what you're talking about. I know everybody in these comments goes through the same thing I do, where people think, Scavenger, you're out of your freaking mind. This has never happened before. Yeah, none of this has ever happened before. You've never had a stock that's owned by retail where they have full control. That's never happened. You're never going to find it anywhere else. And this is it. This is it. I can make a personal guarantee that another play like AMC is never going to happen again. You may have your
They won't
short
allow it.
squeezes.
Yeah, but
Right.
they won't allow
Right.
a massive
Right.
thing like
Well,
this. No.
institutions will buy up the shares. They'll just never they'll never sell their shares to retail again.
Right.
They'll always
Right.
make sure they have full control over the stock, majority holder,
Yep.
like they do with every other stock.
Yep.
So, and like I said, these are just my opinions. I'm not trying to, skew anybody's thoughts on it, but like this is it. This is the game. Can you go make money with other short squeezes or run ups or whatever you want to call them? Sure, you can, but this is it. COSM had its run up. I don't see the news out there trashing COSM, paying for bots to jump into YouTubers' comments of COSM, paying off YouTubers that talk about COSM. Like, you don't see that. It only happens with AMC. I don't see news bashing GameStop anymore. It's just AMC. That's it.
Speaking of which,
That's the
I
only
was going to
one.
ask you about that. Do you own GameStop?
I do. Yeah. Yep. I
Okay.
own both.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
My
you
my
have similar
position is-
feelings?
Yeah, I
about
think
GameStop?
AMC
Okay.
and both. I think AMC has the potential of being bigger now just because of everything that's gone on. But I could be wrong on that. I don't try to put an opinion on that because I think both GameStop and AMC, are massive plays, right? But the problem with GameStop was, when it ran up to that $300 mark, it was a lot harder for retail to grab control of that stock because it was so expensive. Where AMC, being at that $20 range, retail was able to swoop up those shares really fast, if that makes sense.
Yeah, man, I bought all the way up too. Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
rough. I bought all the way up, so my cost average went up on that run, right?
Yeah.
I was looking good before the run. Real quick, back to the Future 99 asked Matt, should I get out of TD Ameritrade? So I heard that some of the guys who were day trading COSM on Friday were having trouble with TD getting their orders through. Back to the Future, I'm going to give you any advice on banking. I'll just let you know I use Fidelity in order to do my trades, and I have most of my shares of AMC and GM still on Webull, just sitting in my account there. Fidelity, I'm doing it direct to the exchange, right to lit exchange in the settings. I've been doing that since about September, and I've had no issue with Fidelity so far. So TD, I'm not a banking expert. I don't want to tell you to close anything or do anything, but I've had pretty good experience with Fidelity so far. So far, so good. Let's see. AMC is down 81% from a year ago, 24 in the money says. I know, man. I know, it's crazy. Headstock Harem, I'm going to hit some people in the chat right now. I see Hayden Real Estate. Tully, good evening. Let's see. Greg. Who else do I got? Bad Financial Decisions. RWK88. Disney buys AMC. How you doing tonight? Dave, how are you tonight? Batman and Jeff. Oh, and Silas, how you doing tonight? Do you see the lawsuit the SEC just put out for the influencers?
I did not. I heard you talking about it before. Oh, yeah. with the pump and
Yeah, let me
dump
put this up.
crypto scheme.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this up for a second so you can see this. This is pretty wild. It's just amazing that they're what they're focusing on right now. Like,
Oh
really?
yeah,
This
right.
is this
For
is
small
this is your main
guys.
priority? No, I
Yep.
know. I'll tell you, I've never even heard of half the guys on here. Hold on one second. Let me put this up. Chrome tab, SEC, share. All right. All right. Let me do this. Okay. So on this, now maybe I should make this big all the way so you guys can see it. Go. So this is from the 14th. SEC today announced charges against 8 individuals in a $100 million securities fraud scheme, which they use social media platforms like Twitter and Discord to manipulate exchange-traded stocks. According to the SEC, since January of 2020, so this is the year before, 7 defendants promoted themselves as successful traders and cultivated of thousands of followers on Twitter, stock trading chat rooms on Discord. These 7 allegedly purchased certain stocks, harnessed their substantial social media following to buy those selected stocks by posting price targets or indicating they were buying, holding, or adding to their positions. However, as the complaint alleges, when share prices and or trading volumes rose in the promoted securities, the individuals regularly sold their shares without ever having disclosed their plans to dump the securities while they were promoting them. And then it goes on here to list the 8 people that they charged. Oh, something interesting I did find out right here. They're actually this investigation is going on in the regional office. So I'm gonna shoot them an email tomorrow to find out maybe anyone would talk with me about over the phone. Just because they're so close. I probably won't get anything, but you never. If the mic's bad, shit. All right, let me get out of here. Close this. I wonder if that's what it is. Damn, can't be having the mic effing up. That's a problem.
You'll get it.
All right,
You'll
let me know,
get it.
guys. Good.
No, I was just saying your
There we go.
mic's up. I was just having issues the other day with my PC crashing. It's ironic. I heard right before I jumped in, you were talking about using tax dollars to buy a new PC, and I actually have one coming, but everything's on back order right now because the graphics card and stuff that I want to put in it is like everything. Just the supply issues are still. So I have a company building it for me, and then I'm getting it here because I just want something a little better for my day trading. I can't have like these glitches and stuff, but I'm excited to get that in because this thing's on its last leg, I think.
Really? That's cool, man.
But
That's cool. Yeah, I was saying Friday night my monitor went down. So I have like a floodlight under my table right here that shoots up behind me, and I kicked it over and it fell onto the AC, like the adapter. You know how on the monitors and it hasn't turned back on since. So I have to go get a new power cord, I think, for it tomorrow. But what was funny was Friday night when it shut off, when it broke on me, everyone said the mic sounded better. So I just haven't I'm like, maybe I won't get another one. Only problem is, yeah, I know. Only problem is I can't do any editing without the second monitor. You know, it's so hard to edit videos,
right?
Especially with the kind of videos I do, like putting all that extra shit in it. It's just really hard to do that with one screen. I did for a while, and I was like, "Isn't going to work for the long term." Let's see here.
Give me just 1 minute. I'll be right back, Matt.
Yeah, sure. Yep. Greg says, I think it will happen again after the squeeze because greed and crime are Wall Street's bread and butter. Agreed, my friend. Doc, you know how you doing tonight? Doc says if the SPY drops below 350, all not Doc. I think 32, maybe 32. Huddle says SPY to 300. Jeff says now I have 3,000 shares for AMC. Wow. Wow. Brandon, yeah, he dropped it the other night, a couple weeks ago. Unfortunately, used to get a lot of material from that guy. I don't know where all his followers went. That would be interesting to find out. Jeff says buy a mic that isn't made in Boston. I swear the mic isn't. It can't be the problem. The mic is like decent. I paid. I had to pay a lot of money for this stupid mic. It is the only thing he ever scrubbed, Greg. That's right. Was his channel. I don't think he ever got under his boobies, not once. Bliss says reputable and broker should not be in the same sentence. Yes, Bliss. Roseanne, how you doing tonight? She says never heard any. Yeah, me neither. Roseanne. I did watch a video. I think Scott Schaefer did a video on them from the other day. So I was watching the scene. I didn't recognize any of their faces or names. Oh, Tully's saying he doesn't think it's my mic. It seems like it's a video glitch, huh? The weird thing is I never have any trouble when I'm recording, right? So all the videos that I put out when I actually upload a video that I do of like, content talking about news or whatever, I've never had an issue with any clicking. So it's got to have something to do with streaming, right? For sure. For sure. King of Kings, how you doing tonight? Hold on, let me put this up. It says King of Kings says of ape is full of synthetics. It's converted to AMC. Can't the hedge funds own more of the synthetic float and use it to keep the price down? It's full of synthetic. It's converted to AMC. So people have been talking about that, the conversion to AMC. Now, didn't we establish a while back that it can't be done, right? Without the shareholders' approval?
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting thing. So yes, you're right, Mass. They can only be transferred into AMC based off of shareholder approval.
Okay.
Which remember, APE is voting power also, so that's why it's an important thing. In my opinion, investors holding APE, because if and when down the road when APE gets transferred into AMC, which I don't think in the near term it would make sense. I don't think that's their intentions at all. But based off of this question he just asked, it's actually a crazy thing, in my opinion, that would occur if they did recall all the APE and put it into AMC. Because if, for instance, let's just put out a number. Let's say there's 1 billion extra APE shares that exist on the market. Because you have to think at this price of APE, I mean, you can get a significant amount of APE for $100, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is like the crazy thing, because like, in my opinion, a synthetic dilution has taken place already with APE, right? What I mean when I say that is that Wall Street's created the synthetic dilution, so it didn't help AMC. AMC didn't get that money, but when AMC releases APE, Wall Street has to give AMC that money for those APE that AMC sold that APE at, right? The agreed price. So if AMC were to recall those APE and shareholders approved APE to go back into AMC, and there were 1 billion APE synthetics, Wall Street would eat that, because those synthetics wouldn't follow. They'd be stuck in a non-existent place, right? So let's just say there's 516
kind of in limbo,
million.
you're saying?
Yeah. So if there's 516 million APE and Wall Street holds 1 billion synthetics, and AMC says, I want these 516 billion APE to be transferred over back into AMC, those billion APE are poof, and they're stuck holding the bag. And that's
an interesting theory.
Yeah.
That would be pretty intense.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's an interesting thing. But like I said, I mean, everyone's got their own opinion on the AMC management team, but I don't think Adam Aron's stupid by any means. I think there's a reason there's certain things he can say, and I know a lot of people, because we're in this play, have a lot different viewpoints with Adam Aron and the management team. But Adam Aron takes a lot of time to visit with these shareholders. You got to understand, he sees the way we're feeling on Twitter. He sees the way we're feeling on YouTube. And the fact that this guy goes out to meet each individual retail investor that's invested in his company, I truly don't think, in my opinion, that he has any bad, nefarious
malicious
stuff
intent.
planned. Right. I think that this guy's a very intelligent guy. He's been in many other companies that probably were shorted, not as bad as AMC, but probably were shorted. And I think the guy knows what he's doing. And like I said, if he was up to no good trying to screw the retail investor, I don't think he'd be putting himself out in harm's way, meeting with people, going on these tours and stuff. You put the two together, it wouldn't make sense. Right. So that's just another viewpoint to have towards it. Right. I think he's trying to do his best to remind the retail investors, I'm here with you, but you guys got to just chill. It sucks what's going on right now, but I'm here with you. I'm standing in front of you. I'm talking to you. I'm on your side here. You guys just need to take a deep breath. Obviously easier said than done.
Take.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an interesting take. Because you're saying that you think that is his way of saying without saying, whose side he's on.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, look at the abuse he takes on the news and on Twitter. Like,
I know. I
he's
know.
seeing these messages. I mean, for God's sakes, his kids have AMC shares that they inherited. Like, his kids, you know, that are more tech savvy than him, obviously, are probably sitting there going, "Dad, like, there's a bunch of people pissed off at you." Like, and like the guy is out there meeting with us. Like, the guy's a CEO of a company. He's got millions and millions of dollars, a successful guy, and he's taking the time out of his day to show the retail investor, like, guys, I'm here with you. Like, you don't see that happening in Mullen. You don't see that happening in GameStop. Like,
Mm-mm.
is Ryan Cohen going and engaging with his retail investors? Is he
Nope.
even responding to anybody on Twitter? No, he's not. Adam Aron's the only one doing it. And
Yep.
that's why I kind of, you know, it's kind of a bullet in the chest when I see the hate that the guy gets, because it's like, he's doing, like, what else could you ask from a CEO? I mean, yeah, we want him to acknowledge the shorts, right? We want him to do this, we want him to do that, but it's like, the guy, every picture that I've seen with someone on Twitter that's standing next to that man has a big old smile on his face. You know, I truly think his intentions are good, and I truly think this is a game of 4D chess he's playing right now. And we don't like the effects of it now, but I can tell you right now that this week, if AMC ran up to $40 and Ape ran up to $20, the drama would be gone in a fucking second. You know?
And the thing is, he's put himself out there and risking not only the retail investor, but also a huge part of his, of his retail, people who go into the supporting him at the movie theaters, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're talking about all these investors too who are helping AMC along, not just with the stock purchases, right, and holding our shares, but also going to the movies and talking about what's been playing and giving
Yep.
reviews and all the stuff that we do on top of that. So he's got a lot at risk here, right? Um, and so, I find myself so divided with Adam Aron, because of everything that's gone down, and I find myself in both camps from time to time. And I want to be on the positive camp always, right? But
Mm-hmm.
and my viewpoint is always biased because I'm holding such a large position. Um, but there's other things that make me wonder about him, and I think I've been so jaded from seeing that all these people fail us,
Yep.
um, and that makes me wonder, like, how faithful or how loyal is he to retail, and like I said, from all these disappointments, I think I've just become so jaded that I'm like, we're gonna have to do this on our own, but. He does, like you said, he is showing up at events and he's still promoting and he's still meeting with retail. So as long as if that were to come to an end, that might give me some pause, right?
HBGBs. Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah. Like if
And
that came to us, yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
good to be a skeptic, though. Like, there's nothing wrong with being a skeptic. I feel like when you let your guard completely down, that's when things happen on the sidelines that you're not aware of. But, like, you know, when I sit back and see that, like, one of the most excited things out of anything that I've heard through AMC, and there's been great news, like Avatar is doing phenomenal. Like, you know, Adam Aron's come out and spoke like Hollywood's only been producing a third of the movies that they were pre-pandemic. We're doing 2019 revenues off of a third of the movies that we
I
had
know.
pre-pandemic. Like, the
And
proof is
half
in
of
the
those are
pudding.
shit. Half of those
Right.
movies are shit too.
Right.
Yeah.
The proof is in the
Yeah.
pudding that movies are back, and back better than they were before. And the fact that we have the new Disney CEO now, like, I feel like there's a lot of things in the woodworks behind that we don't see right now. But one of the biggest things with AMC, like, just this popcorn industry, like, it's freaking insane. The amount of money a year popcorn does itself. Like,
Mhm.
hypothetically speaking, AMC could stop showing movies and just do popcorn and make just as much money as they do now. Like, it's insane stuff that's coming. And you know, that opens the key to a $3 billion a year industry or whatever. It may have been 6 billion. I forgot what the exact number was, but um, you know, there's a lot of things. Like, you look at GameStop, and I'm a GameStop holder, so that's why I'm talking about it. If I wasn't, I
Same
wouldn't
here.
even put my 2 cents on it. But you look at GameStop, at the end of the day, they're still doing games. Like, nothing has really changed other than the fact that it's a short squeeze play, right? But you look
Mhm.
at AMC, and, like, they are two completely different companies, right? Do I think GameStop's going to run? For sure, but AMC is a whole different animal, because AMC is going to have something beyond this short squeeze, right? Where GameStop may short squeeze, and then after that, it's going to lead back down to the darkness of hell, right? But like AMC,
Mhm.
after this squeeze, like this thing has the capability to be a massive stock in the stock market just with everything they're doing. So the way I look at it is like I feel that much safer in this investment because even without a squeeze, I'm in a company that's evolving, that's changing for the better, that's going to make me money long term, regardless if a squeeze were to happen or not, right? A squeeze is something that follows, right? But
Mhm.
regardless if a squeeze happened or not, I mean, AMC's doing it. They're doing it. Yeah, are they hurt from the pandemic and stuff? Of course they are. But we're doing it. We're
I mean,
evolving. It's not just movies, you know?
think of the hole he's had to try to dig the company out of. I mean, from the
Yep.
brink of bankruptcy now. Now we're talking about getting rid of all that debt and getting profitable again. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's a big turnaround we're trying to make here. I mean, this is a
Hmm.
huge U-turn. That takes a little bit of time, right? And he's not getting a ton of help from Hollywood. And I said last week that I was really nervous about the reviews for Avatar. I said, if this is something that people don't agree with, we're going to be in big trouble. And I truly believe that because I think a lot is banking on us in the next 12 months with all these releases, these big movies, these blockbusters are coming out. What's your thoughts on Iger? I'm just curious to know. I haven't heard you talk about Disney too much, but what's your thoughts on Iger? Do you think he's like what are your thoughts? Do you think been been brought back to turn the company around in a different direction or more of the same?
I think so. I mean, Disney's been through a lot of obviously, regardless if you people in here agree with Disney's stuff or not, like obviously Disney's been through a lot. They went through the pandemic stuff too, but a lot of the stuff with like the whole, I mean, that stuff that took place down in Florida about, all the back taxes and stuff like that, it's a big, big thing on Disney. And I feel like Disney, nothing's really changed with Disney for a long time, right? We've had the theme parks, Disney Plus has been a very huge success, with the Mandalorian and ironic. But it's been successful, but I feel like they've kind of plateaued. And yeah, I think that they are bringing him back because there's a key to more success. And not even looking at AMC's company, but looking at the way Adam Aron and him their bond that they have together. Like I feel like, we're seeing it with Amazon, we're seeing it with many, Netflix, like these streaming companies are starting to lose that momentum that they had, during the pandemic when they were starting to peak
Yes.
up because
Hmm.
obviously people were stuck at home. So you signed up for a Netflix subscription, right? But um, at the end of the day, they're more profitable sending these movies to theaters because at the end of the day, you can only get so many subscriptions per month. But when you can make, a quarter's worth of subscriptions in one movie, it's a big thing. So I think a lot of these companies, Disney included, um, there's a lot of changes they have to make, obviously they could have monopolized the whole industry if movies would have completely went underground, right, and bankrupt, but that didn't happen. And I think that they're starting to see, holy crap, these movies are having $500 million opening weekends. Like the sky's the limit now. And I think that, like Adam Aaron says, there's a, you can have streaming and movies, ride side by side together. I think they both need to rely on each other um, heavily, more streaming relying on theaters, in my opinion, because, if you can release these movies in theaters first, make that revenue and then put it on your streaming service, it works out much better that way. And I think that, this new CEO of Disney, or the CEO coming back to Disney, I should say, and seeing the relationship him and Adam Aaron have, I think Disney could it could unlock another huge revenue stream for AMC. So, um, but yeah, I think the guy's well. I've heard nothing but great things about him. And yeah, I think that Disney, obviously the current CEO, the board wasn't a fan of. So I think that, they need to unlock that key. They need to put that key in the ignition and start it. And I think that this new CEO is going to be I keep saying new CEO, but the CEO coming back is going to be that key.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I think they,
All right.
so I think it's a good thing. I really do.
Just so you know, last quarter they lost 1.4 billion on streaming. So now there's a lot of reasons for that, right? There's they had some shows that sucked. There were a couple out there that were not good at all, got really bad reviews. And I think honestly, when I saw that number, I'm like, that can only help us, because if they realize that they need to have it helps to paint a broader picture, right? For them to say, shit, we really need to get stuff back in the theaters again, because this isn't working out so well right now. Nobody's watching some of these shows. And you're talking about big, huge IPs here. We're talking Marvel, we're talking Star Wars, we're talking big IPs, right? And they're not capitalizing on it. And, I'll say the same thing about the DCEU right now, bringing back James Gunn and firing Henry Cavill from Superman after you just put him at the end of Black Adam as to come back. I wonder, and this was part of my worry. I'm like, I wonder if Hollywood is just too far gone now to come back. But stuff like Avatar gives me hope. And then seeing the releases next year, some of the films that are coming out, and seeing how well Top Gun did really helped me to see that, all right, this is definitely still a viable company, 100%. And as long as you put out good content, that people will go to the movies. Like, bottom line, as long as there's something they're excited about, people are going to go see it, right? It's still a relatively cheap night compared to a lot of other things. And it's not as cheap as staying home. But now again, we got the 45-day window that can't release anything. I know I forget which movie it was. Oh, Mission Impossible, that Tom Cruise was having a big issue with them because they wanted to drop it on Paramount in 45 days. And he's like, no way. He's like, I'm not doing it unless we have a full 7-week theatrical release. So even like some of the people in the movies now fighting to have them in the theaters. Good. Did you see the trailer? Not the trailer, but they did a promotional video for Mission Impossible with the two biplanes and Tom Cruise like hanging. That's pretty crazy, right? And he's like, "We'll see you at the theaters." Yeah. I'm like, that's awesome, man. Like, that's so great to have that,
Yeah, and they're making the most money. These actors and actresses are making killer money. When these movies go in the theaters. Real quick, and then I'll pass it back to you because you were about to say something. But I was just talking to this guy the other day, big whiskey guy. He makes whiskeys, a whiskey connoisseur, and obviously, whiskey has its aging process, right? So, he was explaining to me, some of these whiskeys that age for 2 years, right, there's gonna be this massive shortage on whiskey because during COVID there was no whiskey being made. So there, in 2023, we're going to see a big shortage on that 2-year aged whiskey because nothing was made. They started making it again after everyone went back to work. So you're going to have this big lapse of time where whiskey wasn't being made. And that's like, when he said that, I'm like, man, that's exactly what AMC went through, because you had this lapse of time with Hollywood, in 2020, where there were no movies being made. We seen the effects of that in the first 3 quarters of 2022. And now we're back to the point where, from the beginning of 2022 to now, they were, finishing up those movies or working on them. And now we're starting to see them trickle back in again. So, another way to look at it is we have that lapse of time where nothing was happening anywhere in the world. Right. So, it's not a shocker that movies got, held back. It's not a shocker that in 2023, we're going to see a big whiskey shortage because there was no whiskey being made for a year straight. So the whiskey is just an analogy, but it's true. It happened with a lot of things. And sometimes, obviously COVID at AMC shut its doors, but we didn't see the true effect of what COVID did until, end of 2020, beginning of 2022. And finally, we're starting to see things trickle back, better than ever, in my opinion. So, it's proven, right now, people are living paycheck to paycheck. The economy's in a very vulnerable place, and we're still seeing records being broken in the box office. So this goes to show you that, even though people are living paycheck to paycheck, they still want to get out and value their time out of their homes, and they're willing to spend that money still. So it's a really good thing taking place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and Top Gun made the point, right? It made the board and crushed it on a 40-year-old remake, right? So it's just about quality of content, and as long as the quality of the content is good, people want to go see good movies. They want to go see good
Mhm.
stories. I was saying to Tony Friday night on the live stream, I'm like, man, I was looking at, Ridley Scott right now is in Malta filming this big epic war movie about Napoleon with Joaquin Phoenix, and I was watching some of the stuff about Dune 2, because I'm a big Dune fan, and all these movies are coming out next year. And like you were saying, we were kind of at a bottleneck, right, where everything was kind of flushed up, and then everything came to a halt, and now everything's opened back up again, and they're starting to trickle in slowly. But all of these, and even Avatar itself, right? I mean, they already, I think, filmed almost. They said they're almost done filming all of Avatar 3 right now.
Isn't that
And
insane that
yeah,
they're
it's
that far
crazy. Yeah,
ahead?
it's crazy. They're that far ahead. Yeah, yeah, it is. But all those things keep reminding me and bringing me back to the table. Like, all right, listen, this guy's already posted out for 5 avatars. So what the studio is gonna have him make him because they've already paid
Yeah.
for all this stuff. So it's coming, right?
Yeah.
And anything that happens in between now and then that will help us to, like the credit cards and the popcorn and all that stuff, all that's going to do is help, right? It's just
Yeah.
adding a little more to getting our bottom line back to black again, right? Let me just ask you this real quick. I'm going to stay, you know me, I stay away from this kind of stuff. It says Mass Scavenger from G Immortal. Thoughts on dilution or reverse split of 8, both negative and positive sides? Now, I'm not going to get into this because I've been known to be very bad at this. So, do you think there would be any positives on having this reverse split for the ape share because it's so low right now?
Um.
I'm having a
Oh,
hard time with that.
so I'll read that question. I just want to tell you real quick before we lose track of
Yeah.
this, and then I'll drop it. But I had told you the popcorn industry. The
Yes.
value of the popcorn industry per year in 2021 is $11.63 billion a year. That's how big the industry
Oh,
is. Just to put it
it's
into
it's
perspective,
11. Okay,
11.63 billion with a B. So just to put that in
got it.
perspective, how big this popcorn, like some people are just brushing it off their shoulder, like this popcorn industry is huge, 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 huge.
Right.
Like it's insane. But anyway, so what's your thoughts on dilution or reverse split of vape, both negative and positive? Well, I think a dilution obviously is gonna be good for AMC because they can raise money obviously at these levels. I don't think AMC strategically would release
I
any
hope
ape,
not.
any dilution. And that's the thing. People, it's going to be this is in correspondence to this question, but it's going to be a very good thing if AMC Q4, I believe Q4, but Q1 even of 2023, if they can flip cash positive, because then there won't be any more of that cash burn. And obviously, we know that AMC's got so much cash in the bank right
Hmm.
now. But prior to, they've been burning a lot of cash. So, um, I having that much cash, and if we can get cash positive, I don't think they're going to need to dilute Ape anymore. Ape will just be kind of that. It'll be that hand of need if something were to happen, or if they needed to do an acquisition, if they even needed to use it. But they're going to have the confidence if they can get these cash back into cash positive and less cash burn, where they're um, not going to have to rely on that anymore. But in the case of a reverse split, I mean, they can do that anytime. Obviously, I don't think that there would be. I don't think it's going to change the outcome if they were to reverse split, because at the end of the day, it depends how much I do. But if they did a 1-for-1 reverse split and whatever there is 500, they sold like an additional 43 million ape shares or something. But so let's say there's 600 million ape shares on the market right now. If they reverse split 1-for-1 and there was now 300 million ape shares, the price is just going to reflect um, that overall price market cap of what ape was originally. So I really don't think a reverse split would do much other than give AMC the capability to do a normal split again later at a higher price. But that's the beautiful thing about AMC can do reverse splits. If it gets too saturated, boom, reverse split, put it back to a 516 million market cap, and you're back to where you started. So Ape's a pretty special thing. that's taking place right now. So if that answers the question, I don't really know in depth what would happen until the day that it does happen. But like I said, I don't see the likelihood of any of those things happening in the near future, obviously, at where we're at. So
The King of Kings says, do you think we'll get paid out in CBDC? I hope not, because every BDC is years away. So I'm hoping that is not the case.
I
But
agree with
you
you on
know
that,
me,
Mass.
I'm a pessimist. No, I think it's coming sooner than later. Everyone besides me thinks it's way down the road. I think it's coming way sooner, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I
I'm a
think people are.
pessimist.
I think people are getting too awake to the not woke, waking up to the issues with CBDCs, the allowances that they could and the things that they could do. I personally, like I said, if CBDCs happen, we don't have a choice. You can resist it all you want, but at the end of the day, if you have bills that you have to pay every month, you're not going to
What are you
resist
gonna
it that long, right? Unless you hold a shitload of gold and silver. But aside from that, I personally don't think we'll get paid out in CBDC. I think that CBDC are if they do come, I think it's a long ways away. And I think that, we're seeing in the crypto industry how prone crypto is and to getting hacked and to money being stolen. I don't think that we're there anytime soon yet. I mean, crypto is not even perfected yet. And it's been around for, you know, 5 years. I don't how long. I'm not sure how long crypto's been in, but I don't think we're anywhere close to that. I think the Feds, when crypto was going up, were in a hurry to get CBDCs out because they wanted to make sure they got something out before we jumped over to a decentralized currency and lost full I can't even think of the word, but they didn't want us to lose faith of the US dollar. So I think they were in a rush to drop CBDCs if like everyone was going to decide to jump over to Bitcoin. But I think now that crypto's kind of pulled back a little bit, they're probably not stressing about it as much as they
That's a
were
good point.
before.
I didn't think of
So
that. That's a good point. I didn't think of that.
yeah.
I didn't think of that. Good point. Did not think about that. I saw Pantheon was in the chat. He made a good point. Shoot, where is it? Hold on. Pantheon, what's going on, buddy? There it is. Here it is. Oh no, sorry. Boom, this one. AMC popcorn measurement billions. AMC is not. Did we say billions? I hope I didn't say billions. AMC is not selling popcorn in the US. AMC is only selling popcorn in the USA. Yeah, that's what. Okay, that's why I thought the number
Okay.
looked large. It's only in North America. It's 2.2. So we're talking Canada,
Okay.
Mexico, and USA. I thought that number seemed high, and that's why it is. Yeah, wide's
But even at
11 and
that,
2.2. Yeah, it's still a huge 2.2 billion is still
yeah.
a huge amount of money. That's huge. Just to get a piece of that would be nice.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. Thanks, Pantheon. Good point though. Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, that seems really. I don't remember it being 11.
Yeah.
Worldwide 11. That makes more sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, remember, just because we're starting off in North America doesn't mean we can't expand in the future, right?
No, that's true. Yeah.
But I mean, still, I'm glad he caught that. But yeah, 2.2 billion a year. I mean, that's a massive industry.
Still
I mean,
a
if we
huge
could,
number.
and as good as AMC's popcorn is, if it's especially with AMC, because you have to think, we have something these other popcorn industries don't have. We have the branding, right? AMC is such a huge brand over Pop Secret in your local, Kroger's, right? So, AMC could dominate that entire industry, in all fairness. So,
Definitely a possibility. No one's saying that can't happen for sure. Mud Puddle says, does anyone else believe SBF will be Epstein before he is able to testify? Man, that would be something if he was. I don't know about that. I think you can only get one Epstein in your lifetime. Well, we might see two. You never know. You never know.
Well, we've seen the Bed Bath and Beyond CFO get suicide himself, right?
That's
and
true.
that got swept under the rug. No one's talked about that. So, which is sickening.
Unalived himself. Yeah. Yeah, I know. NET, how you doing tonight? See NET in the chat. Good evening, NET. Diaz, have a good night, man. Appreciate you coming by, brother. Miss you, man. Let's see. Andrew says, do you notice that Pantheon and Yuka are never in the same place? I hope Yuka is not Pantheon because he sent me on a wild goose chase today for like 3 hours. So it better not be the same guy. Let's see. I made a few dollars off Mullen. I'll buy more ape in the morning. What's your thoughts about tomorrow? Scab, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen tomorrow? You think the market's going to take off tomorrow morning, or not even on the penny stock so much, just in general? How do you think it's going to do?
My personal, I hate guessing because I'm an options
I know.
trader. I'm a scalper, so I go with what the chart tells me it's going to do. But personally, off of patterns that I've seen, that I'm injecting the market to try to keep it alive as long as possible. I think we've had a 3-day sell off, so there's probably a good chance either Monday or Tuesday we'll have a nice market rally before it starts creating lower lows again. You kind of see the pattern over the past couple months. You know, you have a massive rally and then you hit 52-week lows, and then you have a massive rally and then you hit 52-week lows. It's kind of been an ongoing pattern taking place, and all it is simply is I'm injecting it because remember, you know, these overexposed criminals are long in these positions. So, you know, keeping the market alive is what's keeping them alive. So, probably a good chance either tomorrow or Tuesday we'll have a nice rip. But remember, we're not far away from a market crash. So, making a bet on that would be a pretty foolish bet, in my opinion. But because we could just start crashing. But based off of the previous patterns we've had, I would say that we'll probably have a pretty nice rip. You know, maybe hit some 2-week highs and probably start dipping again on Wednesday. They'll get everyone bullish in calls, get them into calls by Wednesday, and then start selling off and burn those calls out of the money. So,
You think we're headed? You think we're headed for a crash?
oh yeah, it's just been being propped up. I for sure do. I think that you know, when you look at the SPY, the on the 1 month, it the only time it's ever crossed over the MAs was in 2007, 2008, and every other time, every other crash, even the COVID crash, it didn't even cross, and we finally crossed over. So right now we're kind of consolidating in this range that we're in currently, and I think, you know, the bottom's going to give out. You know, but like I said, they're injecting billions of dollars into the market every day to keep this thing running. So, you know, the market's never going to go away, but they're trying to keep it propped up because they want retail to start buying these blue chip stocks again. So they can exit out of their position. Then the crash happens. They want retail to sell. Then they'll buy low, sell high. But, you know, I think a crash is coming that no one's ever seen before. I think it's going to be insane. But I don't think we're there yet. I think we need to see, you know, like AMC Bigham's talks about, I think we need to see some contracts expire. I would like to see some more exchanges collapse. You got to think FTX collapsed and nothing happened with the market, right? Everything was still the same. The only thing that, yeah, I mean, the only thing that changes
barely
an
inconvenience.
Yeah. No, $40 billion vanished, but we're fine. But
I know.
I think we'll have a pump, and we'll keep having these pumps, you know, and they'll keep pumping it as long as they can until one day it's just there's not going to be that life support for it in the near future, and it's going to crash, you know. So I don't think anyone really truly knows what's going on with the market right now. You know, the fact that you have institutions telling you and banks telling you, oh, recession's going to happen next year in 2023, like that would tell me that a recession is going to happen sooner, and they just don't want you to be prepared for it until next year, right? Because they don't want you to win. So
that's my biggest thing, right? Is I don't remember, and not that I wasn't this involved with the market, not even nearly as close when back in 2008, but for that, all this warning and all this, you know, thunderclapping going on. Like, to me, it's because they're jaded from the government to you name it. Just everyone's stressing us constantly. It's like if they're telling me one thing, I'm thinking the complete opposite, right?
right,
That they're trying to get everyone to sell out and dump everything so that they can go in and buy everything cheap. I mean, everything's at, you know, discount prices now. If we had a real crash, holy shit! I mean, how low are we talking about prices going? And do we recover from that? Like, there's always a market recovery, right? The market is cyclical; it runs in cycles. The only reason we have anything to do with that, as far as stopping or impeding it, is because the Federal Reserve now they are able to inject money into economies, and they also are able to raise interest rates to take it out, right? And That's kind of what they've been able to manipulate things to make it look better than it seems until you start getting the CPI data and then all of a sudden it's a runaway train. You can't get a hold of it anymore, V-Chain, how you doing tonight? Say hey to some people in the chat. 24 the money. I saw Pantheon. I know I said hi to you, bro. Thank you for giving me that. The numbers there. All in AMC. How you doing tonight? Says anyone know what the avatar? Yeah, so 435 million international all in AMC, domestic and international. So globally, 435 million, which is at the very top end of the estimates. I think 435 was the top. So we came in just right there. Right there. James says just means a buyer's market is coming. Right, James. That's what I'm saying. Yep. Yes, sir.
Someone said, when does the downturn stop, do you guys think?
I saw that.
think,
yeah,
I think after the squeeze. I think AMC is going to liquidate a lot of the market. The market's going to, I think AMC, I don't know if you agree with this, Mass, but I think AMC, we don't need the market crash to happen for AMC to squeeze. But I think as AMC squeezes, the market is going to crash because money's got to be liquidated from somewhere before insurance policies start kicking in, before governments start bailing out. I mean, let's be honest, the government's going to bail them out. I mean, they always do. So the money's going to be there. I'm not even close to concerned about the money not being there to cover these numbers that we expect. But yeah, that's when I think we're going to see market bottom. And then, it's going to take, maybe 18 months to a, couple years to come back to where we are now. But I mean, we've been in a bear market for a while now, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
It's been a bit. It's been a little while. Yeah. Let's see here. V-Chain says Depression 2.0. 24 the money says Weiss on CNBC has been bearish all year. At least he tells the truth. Yeah, it's surprising to see some people coming out and saying that because everyone's such a bull all the time. Pantheon says, look back at 1929 collapse and the 30s depression. The events leading up to 1930s are the same as we are experiencing. I will expand on it soon, says Pantheon. I'm waiting for that, bro. Get that cooking.
Yeah, I mean, in 2008, before the crash, remember there were news articles, what a weird year. Right before the crash happened, you had all-time highs. I mean, you know what I mean? It's
yeah. I mean, I'll be honest to you. I think Greenspan back then really screwed us like hard. I mean, he really put us on a then when he did all that stuff. He really, really not good. And he's he's still out there doing interviews and crap like nothing, like he did nothing wrong. Unbelievable. Red Star says gold and silver after the squeeze. Tangible assets are always good to have. Always, Red Star. Jeff York says CSI just made a depressing video. He said the AMC play is almost dead. What do you guys think?
You want to answer or do you want me to?
I'll answer. I can start with that. That video, I think. Yeah, I think that's what I think. Go ahead. What do you want to say?
Absolutely. Oh, I was about to say the same thing. I mean, the guy puts out fucking 20 videos a day. I mean, obviously it's click. Tomorrow it'll be a video on another AMC update and we're back in business. And I mean, I see it everywhere. Like it's, like I said, these guys are doing YouTube for a full time. Like they need your clicks. And obviously a lot of retail investors are going to see a title like that and want to click on it. Like it's not that it's so predictable. It's so freaking predictable, the things that these people do. And, doesn't mean he's a bad guy. Don't get me wrong. But like, it's very irritating, when I see things happening like this, because you have a guy who, has a decent following, who people watch his videos, and then you drop a bombshell like that that's completely ass backwards, that you're going to go back on that and renege on that, in 4 days from now. But now everybody's going to have, spend their Sunday all depressed that everything's over. And I just can't stand that. And I'm not afraid, as a YouTuber, I don't have anything on the line. I'm not afraid to come out and, speak my heart and call these people out. It's fucking irritating. It's so annoying. And, That's all I'm gonna say on that. That's my opinion, not masses, guys. That's my own opinion. So
I mean, so I'll just say this: I think the video's gonna get a lot of clicks, and I don't think the AMC play is almost dead. If I did, and if CSI really thinks that, then I'm sure he's gonna be exiting his position immediately, right?
and
He
stopping the
should be.
videos. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
stop the videos.
that's what I would think.
Yeah.
You know, I've taken hiatuses before, just to get my own shit in check, right? And this for me has become a war of attrition and a battle against, you know, the oligarchs who run this country. As far as the clicks go, like if I get them, great. But I'm never gonna rush out to put a video and just for the sake of putting on a video. I don't know. You see my track record of putting up videos. Sometimes it's 2 in a month. Sometimes it's 5. It just depends, right? If I have something to add, I'll bring it up, and if not, I usually just take a seat back and relax. Oh God, Pam is here. Look at the whole chat's blowing
What's up,
up.
Pam?
God damn.
I get hate sometimes like that I'm the hopium YouTuber and stuff like that, but like when I come out with a video, like I am genuinely speaking from my heart. Like the things that I put out there, I genuinely believe off the due diligence I've done, and I'm bullish on this play. Even if we have a bad news week, right? Even if we have a week that is depressing and we have a bad week, like that doesn't change my overall perspective on the play we're in. I'm not going to tell everybody the AMC play is almost dead because I'm so emotionally dedicated to this play that I can't even like look at what's happening. Like I'm bullish on this until the end game because I know what the end game is. I know what happens at the end of this game. I know that at the
Thank
end
God.
I walk away with my MOAS numbers. That's it.
Okay.
I
I'm
don't
with you
do
on
I
that.
can I tell everybody an exact time on it, an exact time frame? No, I can't. Unfortunately, I wish I could. But at the end of the day, I know how this plays out. And the only variable here that sets me apart from something I don't know is the day that this is going to occur. But I'm not going to come out and put a depressing video out for clicks because I need, you know what I mean? Like if I'm going to post a video, it's going to be towards the play that I'm invested in, that I believe in. Like if I think it's over, I'm just going to stop YouTubing about it. Like, what do you want me to do?
Obviously, I didn't watch the video, so I can't speak on exactly what CSI said. And listen, I don't have any issues with anyone who's on YouTube putting out videos or talking about their feelings. Like I don't think necessarily anything's wrong about that per se. You know, there's a lot to do with the way you word things and the algorithm and stuff that I've never really even understood really since I've gotten this stupid channel. I really just don't understand the algorithm or why I get shadow banned. I mean, some of the reasons I know why, but you know, overall picture. But you know, CSI is entitled to his opinion, and
Oh, for sure.
you know, if he thinks the play is dead, then yeah, I mean that's a bummer because he's got a big following, and I hope something this week changes his mind about that. Hopefully, something is going to go well and kick his butt back over to our side and get bullish on it again. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'll have to watch the video when we get off and see exactly what he said.
Right,
GM,
right,
that so it's hard to comment on that. So
right.
nobody take everything with a grain of salt here. I'm just going by the title you guys gave me. Okay. Pam says Pam's not leaving. Just working. Hashtag Pam's not leaving. Pam, you're working 10 to 12-hour days. My goodness, woman. You're no joke. No joke. Bottom line, Citadel 65 billion yet to purchase. Hashtag checkmate, says VChain.
And that's what we know of, right? That's not
Yeah.
including the naked short positions they've opened up. That's just stocks.
Rehypothecation. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
just stocks off of, I mean, we've seen it again with FTX and his hedge fund. Like, remember, Citadel also has a hedge fund. Like, they can hide things in the hedge fund that's not, or in their family office that's not even regulated. Like, they can just transfer things back and forth. Like, it's not hard to spoof the books. It happens all the time. Like, so the numbers we get kind of give us an idea of what we're looking at, but at the end of the day, we have to remember that
it's just a
they're
small
just
portion.
numbers.
Yep.
Right. It's I don't believe the data. Like, I'm not afraid to come out and publicly state it. I do not believe the data that I see, because if the data that I see was correct, the numbers would add up, and they don't. And that tells me that the data is wrong. I was telling people the other day, like in middle school, I took a chemistry class, or high school, whatever it was, but I took a chemistry class and I had a D in the class. I was failing. And my parents told me I couldn't go hang out with friends. So what I do, I went in, did some stuff on the computer, changed it to make it look like a B. And then I screenshot it and sent it to my parents. I altered the data. The data wasn't truly that, but I altered the data to get my, you do some deep diving.
I jumped out the window.
Truth. Right. I mean, you do the DD, you're going to find out the truth, but it's hard to find stuff sometimes.
No, it is. You really gotta dig, and we've been digging, and a lot of us have been digging this whole time, and I think a lot of us have dug enough that we understand what's going on here, and are willing to wait, right, and to be a little patient. Anything Goes says Tony just now saw my text. I swear I texted him at like 2:00 this afternoon. It was a while ago. That was 10 hours ago. I texted him. So that stinks, but okay, we'll connect this week. Don't worry about that, guys. There's nothing going on between me and Tony. He just honestly didn't see my text, so that's exactly what it was. And I went to Scav either way. I was gonna have him try to come on. I was thinking
you got the bottom of the barrel with me, baby.
No, I'm good, bro. No, don't say that. It has nothing to do with that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm very happy to have you here. I'm very happy to have a guest to throw ideas back and forth with. That's like the most important thing, right? It's just, I like hearing other people's opinion. I like the chat, having their opinion, what they're going through right now. And it's really why I need to continue to do live streams. And I think they're important because, this is the one time that we can get everyone to have a voice, right? It's like, we're trying to speak for people with the uploads from time to time, right? We're trying to speak for all of retail, but we can't speak for everyone. And that's why I think this format is so good, is because it gets everyone involved and staying in the process and staying on the same page. I really got to work on that going forward. That's gonna be my New Year's resolution. Rachel says I dug my hole so deep I'm not leaving. I'm with you, Rachel. We're all on that same boat. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Feed Jake says CSI left it open for the next video on what we can do to help it squeeze. All right, so yeah, maybe it was just a title. Maybe he's looking for something that's maybe. I mean, I guess I'll have to watch the video. I'm not gonna speak on it anymore until I see it.
I'm not gonna give him the click, so I'm not gonna watch it.
I'm not gonna give him the click.
Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah. Coming out with the bombshells.
Billy, thanks, man. Appreciate you, bro. Sammy says, do you guys think if removal of dark pools are executed, we will get our correct? I think there's multiple things, right? It's not just, that's a big part of it too. And we can see, right, the numbers going through there. So I remember this came up in the argument between Matt and Boss about the dark pools. And I forget what the exact, I listened to that whole space call, but it was like 3 weeks ago now, right? So I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I'll have to go back and listen to it about what he said exactly. But I look, dark pools, there's kind of a necessity to have them, right? You can't have these huge trades going through. They're a necessity for what they were designed for, not to put retail orders through, not to bag up retail orders and throw them in there, right? They're just so that they're not huge market disruptions by these huge orders. And I get what the necessity of them is, but they were never designed to do what they're doing with them now. That's the problem. Greg said, Sav, don't give a click.
Love it.
Alan says Tony was trying to grow a stash out for today. Was trying to find his stash for the upcoming shortage.
Oh, Tony's gonna be sad. You don't drink. You're more of a beer drinker, right? Or IPA drinker, Matt?
Actually, I'm a Scotch drinker.
Oh, okay.
I like Scotch.
Okay.
Yeah, I like single malt. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Scotch is a byproduct of
Scotch is okay. So as far as I know, Scotch is almost a form of whiskey. I think it's just made in Scotland, right? I think. I could be wrong.
I didn't know if Scotch. I thought Scotch was made with the used whiskey barrels, but I could have that up.
They might.
I'm thinking of bourbon, but That
Oh,
stuff hurts
bourbon,
my throat too
definitely.
much.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And it's got to
Yeah.
be made, I think, in Kentucky to be bourbon, right?
Yep.
It has
Yep.
to be made in Kentucky, I
Yep.
think. Pantheon says dark pools are one of the many ATS alternative trading systems. Shutting down all ATS is what you need. Citadel Connection is a communication protocol system. ATS has many faces. Shutting down all ATS. So Pantheon, you don't think that they need dark pools at all? We could just do away with them and everything would go smoothly. K Robinson says, whatever happened to Lou? I don't know. He hasn't come back yet, huh? He just scrubbed his channel and bounced, right?
Yeah, that his channel, he actually got censored. So
Oh, he did?
yeah, YouTube censored him.
He dropped his 50 million views, right?
Yeah.
That's
He
wild,
just
man.
I can't even keep up with the shenanigans. Real quick on Pantheon's thing that he just said. I totally agree with the dark pools and ATS and things like that. Like I said it earlier. I'm losing track of days, but I get so irritated that like dark pools were originally created for institutional investors or someone with a big sweep order to be able to get a bunch of shares at the same price without, and so basically they're going through and not having to actually deal with supply and demand, because obviously supply and demand affects price movement. So if you come in and buy $5 million worth of shares, this mass, but someone may not know. But if you go in and buy $5 million worth of shares and you didn't have the dark pools, they'd have to battle retail orders, right? Where the dark pools allow them to go right through, get the shares they need, and then retail doesn't even see that price movement. And in my opinion, I don't care if you're an institutional investor. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Joe Blow on the street. There should be no dark pools. If you're an institution that wants to purchase 10,000 shares of Tesla, you should have to buy it on the lit exchange and battle for those shares with retail investors. We should be able to see true supply and demand be affected in each and every stock, regardless of the quantity of shares you're buying. Because I can't go through with $100,000 and buy AMC through a dark pool. So why can an institution? You know what I mean? Why can they go through a dark pool? Like, it's literally not real. Like it's a BS way of altering the supply and demand. And it's asinine in my opinion. So sorry for my swearing. I told myself I get better,
all good.
but
You're all good. You're all good. Billy 87 says, is the stock market closed on 12/26 since Xmas is on a Sunday? Yes, Monday the 26th, the stock market will be closed. 2022. Pantheon says we all need ATS. We need all ATS to have the same rules and then those rules enforced. There is no purpose for ATS, but not as there is a purpose for ATS, but not as they're being used now. Yep, exactly, Pantheon. Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sammy, you're welcome. And thank Pantheon too. Jumping in there. Appreciate that. They now have the technology not to use dark pools at all. It in itself is a manipulative factor, says Captain Arma. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. They should have it squared away now, right? Where they're not making a huge impact with big buy orders like that or sell orders, right? Square that out by. You would think, right? You would think. Adrian says, lose boobs versus gravity. The new channel. PFOF removal will help us big time. Big time,
yep,
Sammy. Because then, listen, if we're not going through these other, if we're sold to other people for pennies on the dollar, exchange, and that's huge when it comes to supply and demand. Huge. V-Chain, have a good night, man. It's good to see you again. I hope you have a good night. Delta Doc, how you doing tonight? Mass background look romantic. Oh, really? Does it? Thanks, Pam. I wasn't going for the romance look. I was looking for the dojo look. Dojo. Loi, how you doing tonight, man? Good evening. How you been, man? Aloha. Andrew, watch the whole video. It changes where it's going, says Sammy. Holly is saying to Scavenger.
What's up, Holly? How are you? Welcome.
There you go.
I see Holly. Not gonna assume gender, but I see Holly in the on my YouTube all the time on my lives.
Dude, so not on my channel, bro. we're gender inclusive here. You know me. Oh boy. Oh wait, Sammy, were you asking if F is being removed? Yeah, no, it's something needs to be done though. And I'll stick with my guns that that's the first thing we need to go after. If we're gonna go get legislation brought to the floor of Congress, first thing you got to go is P. Number one, numero uno, and then short positions. I would say is number two. Complete transparency, and if you mess up with either of those, there's no fines. You got to just sell out your position and close down your firm. That's it. Done. If POFOF goes back, then $7 per trade. Look, as long as it's on the up and up, I'll make sure I make enough money to make that $7 is worth it, right?
Right.
That's fine with me. As long as we're on an even playing field, I don't mind paying the $7. I'll wait to make my trades at the opportune times, but give me a fair shot at the trade. That's all. That's all on the information to make my decision off of. And I'll take the $7 risk.
I agree. And it probably wouldn't even be that high anymore with the technology we have and stuff.
It would probably be a lot
knows?
less, and because they're gonna have a million, they're gonna be a million retail traders that would,
Right.
or millions, tens of millions. Anything
Right.
goes is asking you about day trading. How is your life going since becoming a full-time day trader?
Yeah, it's been good. I do the option scalping every day. I'm part of a Discord. I love it over there. I do them with them every day, but it's been a blast. It's obviously a big change, when you're used to working a 9 to 5. It was definitely not scary, but just I don't do great with big changes. So, being at home all day dealing with my cats running around like crazy psychos, and it's a big change, but it's definitely nice to be able to, focus on the gym in the morning, focus on me, and do something, and not having to answer to someone. It was definitely, it happened a little sooner than I was expecting, but sometimes a big change in your life is, that little kick in the butt you need to get things rolling. So, I'm
Okay.
loving it. I'm loving it.
How long ago did you decide to do that? How long have you been doing that now?
I've been doing it for so I don't know if you heard, but a couple weeks ago I lost a family member. So
No, I didn't, man. I'm
I
sorry.
was
When?
I lost my brother a couple weeks ago to suicide. So it
Oh
was
my God.
a tough week. Yeah. So
I'm sorry, man. I didn't know that.
I appreciate that. But I started day trading full time about 4 weeks ago. So I had a lap last week, of course. So this week's going to be kind of my full week back at it, doing it full time again, because obviously last week was, busy with everything. But I'm loving it. I love being at home. I love doing it. I'm obsessed with trading. I really am. I love it. I have my AMC sitting over there, secure, and being able to do this and make money in the market, like it's a blast. It's a blast. I love it. So.
Yeah, man. That's a big loss, man. Sorry to hear about
Hey,
that.
I
That's
appreciate it. Got to keep your head up, though. Got to keep things,
Did you
rolling.
talk? Have you talked about that at all? I haven't heard you
I
mention it
I did a
once.
video on it. I've just, I didn't want to make it like a big sappy thing about me thing. So I try not to. I tried not to. Obviously our community that we have backing us are all they such good people out there that
Mm-hmm.
have been, supportive. But um, you know, how long can I mope about it? You gotta life doesn't stop, so like I said, I'd rather be a sad winner than a sad loser. So gotta stay focused, go through the grieving cycle, but it's just one of those things that it happens all around us. There's like 65,000 a day, I believe, so that's why I always try to tell people to do good things for people, because you never know, what that person's going through. So try,
Seriously. Yeah.
so
Yep.
it's but yeah, so hopefully it's an inspiration for, people to reach reach out to their loved ones and just do that extra thing to be a nice person.
Yes,
So
sir.
it's
Yep.
important. It goes a long ways too. It really does.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So
Yeah, everyone's giving you condolences there in the chat.
yeah, I appreciate
Annie,
it, guys.
Pam, Loy, yep. Yeah, man, that's crazy. But
Yeah.
I'm glad you're I'm glad you're re-
Hey, I
that's
appreciate
big,
it.
big time. I'm glad you answered.
Yeah, no problem,
And it
buddy.
had nothing
No
to do
problem.
with being second. I was in Twitter when I forget who someone messaged me, and then I saw your message. I'm like, oh my God. I just never go on Twitter anymore. So I just forget
Yeah.
about DM sometimes. I really
Yep.
do. I really do.
See, for me, it's the
and
opposite. My email's full of spam. So like when I go in my email, you get all those like, oh, you have $250 million in England that
right,
you
right, right,
inherited.
right.
It's like, dude, like it's just all a full stack. So
I
it's hard to see emails and
I
stuff.
have a weird thing with my email. If I'm in a thread with someone, like a thread of conversations, the new email won't pop up at the top for some reason. It
Hmm.
stays buried. So like someone sent me an email on November 10th that I've been waiting for an answer for, and it I just saw it today. I'm like, oh my God, dude, this was sent to me a month ago. I'm like, why is it 15 pages back? Why?
Right.
I gotta figure out what's wrong with the damn settings.
I
I
can't
don't know what I
believe we're all
did.
still using email. Like email feel like you need it for everything, but email is like such old news. You'd think by now there'd be something else. Like I don't know what.
Faster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I
Yep.
knew what it'd be, we'd be rich, right? But like
No, no.
I just
I
feel like
know.
email is like a fossil. But you need
Yep.
it for everything. So
Yep. Yep. Let's see here. Do you mind if I run Scavenger? Do you have something you can push real quick? They're talking about
yeah.
tokens. Okay, I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. All right, give me two
Okay.
minutes.
Yeah, no problem, buddy. Guys, if you haven't already, hit that like. 180, 176 people in here. Sure, some of you haven't hit the like yet. So Sammy says there's a lot of factors I imagine on our side of and dark pool. Oh, payment for order flow and dark pool, you mean, Sammy? Also drama with FTX with tokenized coins and how well Avatar does. So let's see where this pushes us next week. I totally agree. I know the words are kind of chopped off my face here, but we'll deal with it for a minute. But you know, this whole FTX thing, going back to it since you mentioned it, like I don't think people realize the significance of FTX and what this showed retail investors, everything that it's kind of brought to light for us. We've been talking about for a long time, like trying to figure out all the different ways, because FTX isn't the only one in the things they were doing that manipulated AMC's price. There's many variables, many factors. When you have, your naked shorting, you have your um, credit default swaps, you have your derivatives, everything, that goes on. But FTX, if you guys don't know, basically, they had their tokenized AMC stock or tokenized AMC coin, which was supposed to be backed a 1-for-1. So what FTX was doing was using that to lend these coins to brokerage firms and to hedge funds and to whom it may have been that are borrowing it, which we can assume would be the short sellers, right, to keep AMC down. They were lending these synthetics out because they were never really backed by a share of AMC. Now, a lot of people are like, well, AMC never authorized a coin to be created, an AMC token. You're right, they didn't. And the way FTX was able to avoid that on paper was by backing these coins by a share of AMC. This is a big fail on our regulators, right? Your SEC, FINRA, our DTCC. This is a big failure because obviously now that FTX failed, we see that they never really backed these coins 1-for-1. So all these tokenized AMC shares that they loaned out and brokerages sold to people like us, they weren't real. So anybody that sits there and says synthetics don't exist now, I'm sorry, but they do. They do. It's a fact. I haven't seen Avatar yet. I didn't have time to go this weekend, but my plan's to go this week, maybe this weekend. If I don't make it this week, I hope to make it. This week. But if I can't this weekend, but I'm super stoked to see it. I love Avatar so much. But you know how it gets. Sometimes you get a little busy, not to make excuses, but everything I've seen on Avatar so far has been phenomenal news. Like everybody loves it. So Mass Scavenger review followed Dave interview with Gigi. I did watch it. Yeah. Gary Gensler, it's easy for him to come out and act like he's on our side. Like I said, I don't trust the SEC at all, but some of the things he said and the rules that he wants to push out, it sounds like he really wants to help us. But again, these people are very good at manipulating your thought process. So it's interesting. I'm excited to see it pan the trader. I'm like super stoked, honestly. I love Avatar so much. And I feel like Avatar is so ahead of its time with like the cinematics and stuff. Like I don't know how they do it, but it's like I've seen behind the scenes of them like acting it out with all like the electronics on their heads and stuff, and it's like it's pretty intriguing stuff. Like they're definitely doing something other movies aren't doing. So
Avatar.
yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people saying go see it in IMAX 3D. I don't have AMC IMAX theater near me, unfortunately. Adrian says the underwater scenes were awesome. I just watched Crazy yesterday. So we're talking about Avatar: The Way of Water. Watching it yesterday afternoon with my roommate's son, who I watch on Saturdays, and I said, "Hey, do you want to watch Avatar?" I'm like, maybe if he can sit through this, with me, then I could take him to go see two at the movie theater. Even though his mom said his ADT would be off the wall. I'm like, if I can sit through it, he can sit through it. But then all of a sudden, I get a knock at the door. I'm like, oh man, who is this? I go to the door. It's my neighbor, and something happened. His dishwasher broke or something, which is right over our storage downstairs.
Oh,
Now, Monday, my buddy ordered One Up Arcade, a Mortal Kombat game to put here for his son Christmas, and he's like, "Should I get insurance?" I'm like, "Insurance for what?" I'm like, "It's going to be down in the basement for a couple of days, and we'll have it up here for Christmas." Like, what the hell you need insurance? It's not going to get wet or anything. Yes, the guy knocks on my door. I got the guy from the management company calling me, telling me there's a major leak downstairs. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I go down, literally like standing water, and the video game is in it. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. So
what are the chances?
I swear to God, that could only happen to me, bro. It's just, it's the luck of Johnny Shithead. That's just, it is my luck. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. The Way of Water. Yeah. Christmas. I think it's all right though. I haven't opened it up to look, but I think he'll hopefully tomorrow will open up and it will be fine. But yeah, pretty crazy. So you haven't seen Avatar either yet, Scav? You haven't seen it?
No.
Avatar?
My plan is to see it this week. I didn't have time this weekend, but if I don't see it this week, for sure this weekend. Is a plan. I'm definitely gonna go see it. But it's probably a good thing I didn't go over the weekend because I know I just looked out of curiosity at my AMC here and it was freaking packed.
Yeah, so was mine. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Every showing except for the midnights were almost all of them were full, pretty much, except for like the back row and the front row. They were almost.
I think the only one that wasn't packed was like Thursday morning at like 10:30 a.m. or something like that. Which is a given, right? But so.
Yeah, Captain Arma. So they've already filmed 3. They've basically wrapped up production on that, and it's going to editing pretty soon. So they filmed like 2 and 3 almost back to back because there's 5 total that he's contracted out for. So it's good, right? That's all good news for the movie theaters, and just anyone who's saying the movie theaters are going extinct. James Cameron has a 5 film contract for Avatar, so he's got 3 more to come out in 6 years. Movies ain't going nowhere. Pam says, all I want for the Christmas is MOAS. That's all I want to. If I can't get the MOAS, I'll take any kind of jump. Get us back to double digits would be nice. That would be a great Christmas
or New
Year's.
For me. New Year's would be fine too.
There you go.
That's the biggest thing. You just said it right there, though, Mass. Like a nice increase would just help. Anyways, but
just to bring everyone's spirits up a little bit. Like we've been so downtrodden for the last 6 months. It's like, man, we just get a little pump just to get everyone. The last time we had a good run, I was moving. So that whole month, I think it was like middle of July to middle of August when we had that run before Ape. I was moving everything, building this place. So I missed all of that excitement. It was awful, and then I came back and it was over. Right. So it hasn't been the best since I came back, but I would like to see one pump would be nice just before the end of the year. I'm hoping that some of these numbers, especially if we see legs through week 2 or weekend 2 of Avatar, that's going to be big. Keeping those fresh legs coming in, fresh asses in the seats will be big. We've had such disappointment with some of the DC the MC movies, Marvel Universe, after the second week, there's a huge drop off. But like I was saying, if you go back to Avatar 1, it had it went up for 6 consecutive weeks on the weekend. over and over again, right? And now this is a little different because it is already an established name, right? Avatar, but I think that whole thing about like the spoiling and gets people to that rush, that immediate rush the first weekend because they don't want it spoiled by YouTube or other people with these, with these interactive stories like the multiverse with Marvel. I think that the impact on it, and Avatar not being that kind of film, I think there wasn't a huge push to get out there this weekend. And school vacation starts tomorrow, so we'll start to see, I think, better numbers this week coming up. Having a full weekend ahead of us, I think it'll be better.
I agree.
Let's see. Everyone's raving about it right here, huh? Sammy says Avatar was good, kind of lost me a bit in the middle. Yeah, I heard so it got slowed down for a little bit, and then like the last hour was like stop action. So that's good. And they leave it open. Yeah, because I just finished Avatar 1. And I'm like, they leave this open for a sequel? And I guess, yeah, they totally did. I mean, that way it was, them back as one of the blue people, right? So what are they called? The Navi?
He's smart.
Navi, right?
He's smart the way he does it, though.
Cameron?
Yeah, he's smart.
Cameron?
He knows what he's doing. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's, like I said, Aliens is my favorite movie, and he directed that. So I'm a Cameron fan. Let's see. I just finished watching the movie. Avid viewer says I just finished watching the movie and it was great. Yeah, man. Everyone has raved about it. Completely all good reviews, which itself was good news, I think, for us because like, okay, this quarter's been good. It's been much better than quarter. But Avatar was such a big thing that we've been looking forward to, to see a disappointment this weekend would have been a problem. But everything I'm seeing is saying really good. Andrew still says that Maverick is the best he's seen all year. Yeah, a lot of people said yeah, man. I mean, listen, Tom Cruise brings the people in. That's why I think Mission Impossible, if this is the last one, like they're saying 7, I think it will do very well. And this, just the trailers themselves look pretty awesome. The ones I've seen look pretty awesome. I like Cruise. I'm not going to lie. I mean, he could do whatever he wants in his personal life. I think he's a good actor. I like him a lot.
He is a good actor. Always action, too. If it's got Tom Cruise in it,
yeah, you're going to have tons of action. Yep. I mean, you can look at the stupid commercial he just filmed just to promote it. Yeah. On the back of a biplane? What are you kidding me?
He's crazy. Dude.
He's very crazy. Peace, love. That is FUD. Absolute FUD. Yeah, it fell short in America by like not even $10 million. They had promoted it, I think, for like 140, and we did like 135. Don't quote me on those numbers, but it's a bunch of FUD. We hit exactly the high end of the target internationally, globally. We hit at the very high end, 435 million. 435 was the call, and we hit it, nailed it. So, agent says Tom Cruise is foot traffic with ease. Yep. And Pam says same thing, huh? Wow, Top Gun Maverick. Everyone's still saying it's better than Avatar 2. Man, I really got to see Avatar 2 now that this is all going on.
Mass, I don't mean to cut you short, but I'm going to put you on my TV, but I think I'm going to cash out for the night. Just because I'm going to fall. I'm so tired, but are you going to be streaming for a while? Because I'll probably throw you on my TV to wind me down.
Yeah, I'm going to stay on until probably 1. Yep.
Okay. Yep. Perfect. Yeah, I'll throw you up on my TV. I don't mean to cut it short, but
it's all good, bro. Thank you for coming on, man. I wanted to have someone to bounce.
Hey, I appreciate you. And I hope we have another one soon.
Oh yeah, we will. Have a good night, brother.
Hey, you too.
Guys, go check out Scavenger.
Right, hey, thank you for everything you do, buddy. Appreciate you.
You got it. Have a good night. Bye-bye. All right. And then there was one. Pam, you can't leave me too now. Come on. God damn it. Pam, I was like, all right, now I can focus on Pam because Scavenger's gone. And she's like, I'm out of here. So Billy, I made a mistake last week and I said that Avatar needed to clear $2 billion to make a profit. That's not correct. It needs about $650 million total to break even. So after that, we're talking about, making money, right? So we're already 2/3 of the way there right now in the first weekend. Now, that number obviously fluctuates, and they probably spent a lot more money on marketing for this movie than they did for a lot of other movies that come out. You can tell Avatar had a big push from the for as far as commercials and advertising it. So they spent a little more on that. Number could be higher than I'm saying, but other than that, man, we're really close, really close. Yeah, Pam, you can't do that to me. Can't do that to me. Yeah, Chad, we're trying to do more, man. Definitely. Well, I like having Scavenger on. He's way more positive than I am, so it's good to have someone to offset, negative mass. I need that sometimes. That swift kick in the butt. Like, come on, man. Yeah, bro, you got it. Of course. Yeah, we'll try to do it more often again for sure. Andrew says again, love Avatar 2, but reviews did not match with Maverick. Little style over substance by Cameron for me, but that's what makes him brilliant. Everything is a spectacle. Yeah. So does everyone agree pretty much you get lost in this place? I mean, do you feel like physically or you can understand and you can definitely tell they're underwater with all these shots? I mean, the ones I saw on the trailer don't really do it justice, I'm sure. But it seems like everybody's saying it's a good place to get lost in. Yeah, Billy. So that's the clarification. And I was quoting a guy named John Campia who has a channel on YouTube. He reviews movies and cinema in general, but he used to work at corporate for AMC, and he broke down how they would do projections at AMC for their revenue. And he said that the way they did it when he was there was they took the production cost, they doubled it for the marketing, and then they added 33% for other. And then you get that number, take that number, the 33% of that, add it all together, and that's what your break-even point is. So according to our numbers right now, we already smashed away some of that debt. 3D James says was visually amazing. Yeah, I think that's the way I'm gonna have to see it. You feel like you're there with them, Andrew? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so maybe I'm gonna have to suck it up and just go a lot farther. Sammy, have a good night, man. Appreciate you coming by. Critical mass is a better choice of words, Sensor says. Elevate the frequencies. It's a good idea. Good idea. Alan, good question. I don't know. I know globally it did 3 something. Wait. I want to say no. Hold on, let me look. I don't want to mess this up here. I just had it pulled up. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. So it was 127. All right. Wave Waters eyeing 290 to 300 million in the 5 days overseas. 290 to 300. So it doesn't break it down into China here. I'll tell you a little bit about this because you guys are asking about the number. Nonetheless, fans should not have the expectation that Avatar 2 will triumph over its highest-grossing film ever predecessor. It may not have surpassed the totals of No Way Home, which has a far larger of 587.2, although that had fans rushing to see it immediately to avoid its multiverse spoilers. And that's kind of what I was touching on earlier, right? That some of these interlocking stories that the major comics and IPs have, it's kind of a different animal than what we're dealing with Avatar, right? So that's what I'm banking on. And remember, guys, the longer that it stays in the theater, the more AMC keeps of the revenue. So that money's coming in. The longer that it stays in theater, as weeks go past, AMC gets more and more and more. They keep more and more of the ticket sales, and less goes to the production company. When we have reached critical mass, the stock will go nuclear. That sounds good. 400 million, says Stock Market Santa Claus, last you checked. That sounds good to me. I'll take that. Almost 150 and over 4. Yep. That's what that article was from 2 hours ago. So 435 was the call, and they're saying that would be the top end. So, I mean, according to this, we're doing very fine. And he says Avatar's numbers will go through the roof once the kids are out of school. That's another thing, right? School vacation I think, starts tomorrow, right? It's got to. A lot of adults are waiting to see the movie because they want to take their kids over the holidays. They can go to a matinee, right? Maybe save a little Skrilla. Although I'd rather they not, but as long as they're going. Which hedge fund will betray the others first? We're at a really low price. Good question. I would say first one out is going to be the winner, right? I'm really waiting just for one of these little hedge funds just to tap out and crash, get the ball rolling. Andrew says, "Mass, reach out to Scav. Do Saturday night streams together. Great stream. Yeah, man, he's fun to he's fun to stream with. I like having him on. Honestly, and to me, he helps balance out my negativity. I really feel that way, and it's good to have a perspective that's positive on the other end. Yeah, we'll definitely be working together in the future. And we'll try to get some three-ways going on with Tony. A couple threesomes. It's okay if it's a three-way. You guys remember that song from Justin Timberlake on SNL? Mother Lover? Yes, that is true, Captain. Yep, I just saw someone put a tweet up of. I think Aron tweeted something about it the other day. Yeah, there's another set. What's the word I'm looking for? Another source of income for AMC. To get rid of that debt. Yeah, Adrian, you know the song from that Justin Timberlake and the other guy did? I think Sandberg there. They did the songs. They used to do the songs together. That was awesome. Only kinky first time. In a box, yes, exactly, Adrian. Mother Lover, In a Box, and Three-Way. Those are the three I remember. I think Mother Love is the best one, though. That fucking song is awesome. So good. Javi's saying, I'm still holding all my shares. Me too, Jav. Me too. Me too, bro. We are all just being as patient as can be with this. Trying. Joey Trivia Perez Gutierrez says, any catalyst this week besides Avatar 2? Nothing we know what's like getting announced ahead of time. Not that I'm aware of. No, not that I'm aware of. But I really think if we're going to see a stock price move, it will be after the second weekend. I think people are going to sit back and wait to see, because of the track record we've had with these Marvel movies that have had these huge drop-offs on the second weekend. They have these big, huge openings, and then it's a sharp fall, right? 60, 70, 80% the following weekend. If we have a repeat or close to a repeat next week or better, then I think we'll start to see the stock move. I think people are going to sit back and wait to see how well is this really going to do. Let's see here. We wait all day for a Mother's Night. Is that part of the lyrics? That's probably part of the lyrics. Santa's holding good stock market, Santa Claus. That's good stuff. Oh, someone was asking about an Avatar game. I have no idea. I'm so not a gamer, guys. I'm a history reading fool. I'd much rather watch something or read something about history than video game. I know it sounds sad, but Pam says, I once dated a guy. What happened? I walked into his messy house. I walked right back out. Did you really? Wow. That's harsh, Pam. You didn't volunteer to help clean up? Javi says that Almeida chicken. Oh my God. Wow. She is a piece of work, huh? Man, how would you? I don't know what would get you going to wake up in the morning and get into bed. Oh, at night, get into bed with that. She's scary looking. Anything goes says, Mass, you get any Cosm on Friday? No, man. So I was up in the morning. We were watching it. and I was watching Teddy Zane. And then around, I want to say like 1 o'clock, I was talking to Tony and we were watching it. It was at like $10 or $11. And I was like, oh, this has got to be coming down in the next couple hours. And sure enough, it just kept going up and up and up and up. And no, I did not. So that's unfortunate. I watched it ride up and then the bottom fall out in after hours, right? She might have already worked in a deal with the feds. Somebody's gonna have to talk if they don't want to go to jail. Somebody's gonna have to talk. Censored Content says those AMC Christmas gift cards start kicking in December 26th. Matt, I have no control over the ads at all, bro. I can't even believe they have me monetized tonight. I'm surprised they're not they don't have me on demonetized. Usually they demonetize me first and then I have to go fight for it. So this will be a rare occasion if I'm on commercials already. Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't realize I was looking at the weekly schedule for movies. There are a ton of movies, like big movies. There's a new Creed coming out. There's a bunch of sequels, another Fast and Furious. I mean, there's just a lot of content. Mission Impossible, a lot of movies. And don't forget, we're gonna get a lot of revenue still in Q1 from Avatar. I mean, if it has legs, it's gonna carry over. It's in the works. You guarantee me 5,000 a share this week and we'll wake up in bed with her. I don't have to touch her, right? No, Andrew. No touch. No touch. Adrian says, I have YouTube Premium. I never see any ads. Adrian, I don't even have YouTube Premium. I can't even afford that shit. How are you rocking that? Hey, man. Peace and Love says, Fast and Furious movies kill at the box office. Yep, they do. They do. That was one of the first movies that crushed it after the pandemic, right? Was Fast and Furious. One of the first ones. Adrian says, Andrew, you have some giant cojones, my friend. Jumping in the sack with that thing. Seems like she bite your head off. Eat you for breakfast. So let me ask this. Did anyone that's watching right now or in the chat, did anyone have a bad experience at their AMC? Anything look on amiss? Was there anything like we were talking about Friday night with the pizza maker being down and that kind of stuff? Did anyone have any issues with anything? I'm just curious. On the opening weekend of Avatar, like, was there anything blatantly looked like it was being neglected? How was the staff? Was it fully packed? Like, did it seem like they were short-staffed on help? Because I didn't get to go this weekend, so. Stock Market Santa Claus says, did y'all see the nuclear fusion thing other day on news? 15% gains over input. Yeah, I did see something about that. But I want to say 5 or 6 days ago, I saw something that was talking about that they had made some huge jump in nuclear fusion as far as powering things up. I did see that. I'm not really sure what it's all about, though. Stock Market Santa Claus. I'm not that I'm not a huge science fan. I like science, but I don't know too much about that, about fusion, fission. I wish I did. I'd rather jump into bed with a Sam Squatch. Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened with that, but I tell you what, we're gonna need. We're talking about all this electrical vehicles and everything, switching over to green energy. You know, I don't think people realize and understand how much power you need to charge these vehicles. And just people, I guess, just assume that power is going to come from where? Where's that power coming from? I would say nuclear is the only way you'd be able to get that for as cheap as you need it to. You can't do it with renewables. You can't hope and pray you're going to get wind and sun when you need it. It generated more energy. That's what I thought. Yeah. So, I mean, these kind of advances would be huge towards to the EV market. And then you have, if you have a sustainable source of energy like that, then you can really lay off the fossil fuels heavy, right? You don't have to be so heavily invested in them. But you need first the infrastructure to get the electrical vehicles running, and then you need the power grids to be able to pump out all of that energy to recharge batteries. It's going to be an everyday thing. So they were talking about in California the other day, saying like, do you know how much it costs? I remember Congress. They were talking about in Congress how much it would, how much energy it takes up just to run the fridges in California, and then you add to it that they want to go totally green by 2035, and they're already having rolling blackouts right now in California. So imagine what would happen if they were completely relying on renewables, kind of like Germany is right now. They'd be screwed. People would be out back cutting down trees like they are in Germany right now. Cutting down trees, and now they're going to outlaw cutting down trees in Germany because people cut down too many trees to heat their houses. Nuts. Captain Armor says it will be decades before they're ready to use it. Really? That sucks. We need fusion and apes, for God's sake, says Loy. Right. Good point. Good point. We do, Loy. Fusion for apes would be nice. It generated more energy than was put into it. Well, that's the point, right? Let me see what you're saying here. Peace, love. Generated more energy than was put into it. Positive energy flow. Pretty much means endless renewable energy. I mean, that kind of breakthrough technology would just change the game for mankind in general, right? I mean, you could power all kinds of desalination machines for, fresh drinking water for people with that type of renewable energy that's almost nearly free. That would be such a game changer for humanity. And man, I was reading, I don't want to get too off track here, but I was reading the 1973 manifesto for the World Economic Forum. And what they said there, it's a huge document. It's like 100 and something pages. It was written in 1973. And I was reading what they were saying back then about what their goals were. And man, it is pretty scary what they were talking about. Pretty scary. NET says, hate to do it, but I got to go to bed. Working in the morning. Mass, please do another live soon, like tomorrow. This was really great. Thanks. Sweet dreams tonight, everyone. NET, thank you, hon. Appreciate you. Yeah, well, I'm going to, especially now that my monitor's broken, I won't be able to make a video for a couple of days. So until I can get either a new one or a new power cord or something. So I'll definitely be live next couple nights for sure. For sure. 10 years, that sounds good. Sounds good. Captain Armor says, we do not have a power grid capable of what they want to do. Yeah, exactly. I know. They're living in La La Land right now, Captain Armor. Anyone telling you that we're going to be ready to go completely green by 2035 is out of their mind. No, Adrian, I didn't. You had an earthquake in Texas? Southern Texas? I forget what part of Texas you're in, Adrian. No, I didn't hear that, man. Did you feel it? I remember I felt one earthquake when I was in film school. One earthquake. It's a helpless feeling when you're in the middle of it and the ground beneath you is moving up from under your feet. It's pretty nuts. Oh, man. It was funny. The first thing I did when it happened was I called my mom. I was like, Mom, shit's breaking, fall on the ground. Yeah, I only felt it once, but it's a very helpless feeling knowing that you have no control over the things above you crashing down on you. Let's see. Stock Market Class says scientists made it a reality, and the engineers will make it it will make it practical for public consumer use. If there's money to be made, they are on it for sure. For sure, the EV warlords. Yeah, right. For mining crypto, that would take your cost down for all those fees. Elon needs to pay off AMC's debt and put charging stations to all the theaters. I was saying right before I moved, the AMC that was closest to me was getting Tesla charging stations. I think there was like 11 or 12 of them they were putting in at the AMC. So that's interesting. Oh boy. It wasn't close to me in Texas, huge South Central Texas, about an hour south from Tony. Okay, so you're an hour south of Tony, Adrian. So an hour south of Austin. So what are you between Austin and the Gulf of Mexico? Like halfway between? Peace Love says it's massive for Space Channel travel. Right. So that's and this is probably the main reason, right, that they're going to use for this for mining on the moon, probably, or Mars or wherever. I mean, that's the real race, right? Who's going to be able to get rare earth elements and other elements out from either Mars or the moon? That's going to be your winner. San Antonio. Okay. Yeah, man, it's not a fun thing. I do not like earthquakes. I've been through one. One was enough for me. Don't need another one. If they're telling us about it, they have already been using it for a while. See, that's why stock market Santa Claus. That's exactly what I think about the CBDC. Right? I think that people are a little naive to believe that they haven't already started this when the digital yuan in China is already a real thing. So, mass come to Cali. JT Wisco, what's going on, brother? How are you tonight? Long time no see, man. Hope you've been well. Yeah, there's a bunch of people tonight that hopped in I haven't seen in a while, so that's good. V-Chain, bunch of people. Some new names. I like it. Yeah, that is good news about the energy thing, man. We need to catch a break, man, because they are going to push us off the edge with this solar crap and renewables. It's just not sustainable. I mean, they got rolling blackouts right now in California. How are they planning to go off grid? You got out of your minds? I don't understand. Does Newsom have a brain that works? Lois says, I've been working in Phoenix, Arizona for the past few weeks. It's amazing to see what a pie hole my state of California was turned into, especially LA crime. Yeah, man. Yeah. I haven't been to California in a while. I mean, it's been a while. And, when I was out there, it wasn't like that. At least San Diego and LA weren't like that. They weren't this bad. I've seen some crazy things recently. I mean, the crime especially. The homelessness, yeah. But the crime to me, like the smash and grabs and all that stuff, and that's poor government right there. That's poor district attorneys, poor judicial system. I mean, and you guys are rolling a surplus on your in your budgets. It's nuts. Captain Arma says they are really all about electric, but I have some knowledge that it may not be such a great idea. It starts with our past geology. You assume that says? Oh, I was wondering where you were, Pam. I'm like, where is Pam? Did you? That sounds fun. No holiday party for me. That does sound fun, though. Steven Sanchez, good evening. How you doing tonight, man? Stock Market Santa Claus says, a lot of people think I live in the North Pole, and I'm friends with Easter Bunny. Neither of these things are true. I'm in Virginia, and I'm not cool with the 2-bit front rabbit. Man, I wonder sometimes what you guys do when I'm not live. What is going on in the heads of you people? Geological. Okay, Captain. That's what I thought you said. Yeah, I don't know if you want to elaborate on that. I'm not quite too sure what you're talking about. The plan is that they don't have a plan. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately. It seems like, and they tried to recall the governor. They got enough signatures for it, and then he just got voted back in again. It's like, what a waste of time. What a waste of everyone's time doing that. I couldn't even imagine living in California right now. I really couldn't. I couldn't. And my parents are there right now. I mean, they go out in usually November, from November till May. They're out there. They've been doing this back and forth thing for like 10 years now for the winter, and they're still going back every year, man. Still go back. I'm like, what, guys, get rid of that. Get rid of those condos. Get rid of them. We were a squat in about 10 years. With all these new bills they're signing, all the low income housing they have to build by a certain time, there's going to be so much competition for rent. It's going to be out of control. It's going to be nuts. All right, guys. So we're about to pull up on the 3-hour mark. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Man, that sucks that we couldn't get me, Scav, and Tony on the same live stream. But maybe we'll try and work on that for like maybe the middle of the week. See what's going on. Yeah, anyone wondering about Tony? I did send him an email and a text before to see if he wanted to come on. So it wasn't slight or me trying to get, we don't have any problems or anything like that. Me and Tony have been good, never had an issue. So I'm sure we'll be doing another collab soon. It's just we just missed each other today on the text or whatever. And I didn't even see he was it didn't even send me a notification he was going live. And I'm subscribed to him with the bell on. I got no notification. I didn't even know. I'm saying holding the bag. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Pam, yeah, I should give you his number to get them to sell that damn place. He did. He naked shorted my live stream. Agent says. Yeah, Pam. Maybe I'll send you their information. Remind me. Try to get them to sell. Tell me you're gonna give them a good price. I don't want them flying back and forth from there anymore. First of all, they're too old to be doing that, and second of all, I can't help them if something happens. I'm too far away. I'd rather they be a little closer. Captain Armor says it actually lies within the ley lines. Very large batteries on ley lines, i.e. pyramids, problems you start with earthquakes. Oh boy, Captain Armor, you're losing me. I know what ley lines are. Very large batteries on ley lines, i.e. pyramids. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Lloyd, thanks, man. I appreciate you. Thank you, sir, for coming by. Glad you're doing well, man. Glad everybody's still in the game with me. That's a good thing. I get nervous sometimes, but I got to remember that I'm backed by 4 million retail investors. No, he didn't. If he said that, he's lying. He did not call me 3 times because someone already told us earlier that he said on the live stream he just saw the text. Yeah, man, you got it. Of course. All right, Captain Armo, we got plenty of time. We could talk about that. We got plenty of time to talk about all kinds of stuff here. I'm going to try to do a better job, especially January 1st, about getting on for more lives and less uploads. Oh, boy. All right. Does anyone have a burning question before I go? I think we got through a lot tonight. We did get through a lot. I think it was a pretty good one. Elon getting destroyed on Twitter for the pick with KG. I bet he is. I bet he's taking a lot of flack. I gotta go see that when I click off. Yeah, he's probably getting destroyed, right? All by retail investors, right? It's probably all of us. It's probably all of AMC Abe's. That's funny. Good. Elon should know what's going on. I'm sure he's aware of it. He probably knew that picture was going to stir up some controversy with retail investors. He seems to be pretty aware of his surroundings. I doubt that he doesn't know anything about that. Billy, you're welcome, man. Look, man, we're all trying to find our way through this thing together, right? So it's a lot of speculation and it's a lot of hearsay and a lot of it's just guessing. But, if we can bring a little knowledge and a little bit of truth and some speculation mixed in with that, I'm good with that. I'm not the clickbait man. You guys know me. I'd rather just not do a video. Who covers the shorts if the hedge funds can't? Your federal government. Just like they did in 2008 when they gave all of the bankers their bonuses and kicked 5 million Americans out of their homes. But they made sure the bankers got their bonuses, right? They build them out. Santa's not in for the squeeze. I'm just curious. Santa's not in for the squeeze. I'm just curious. Ask the question. If we were here before same scenario with electricity. So, Captain Arma, this debate I've been thinking about for a while about was there an advanced civilization here before us, with all the things that have been discovered, as far as like the drilling holes in some of these sites like Puma Punka and even in Egypt at Karnak and Luxor and some of the other places. It's an interesting theory, right? That we got wiped out in the younger, all our technology wiped out. It's an interesting theory, especially all flood stories, right? That all these different civilizations happen to have this same story about a massive flood. And it would make sense that it was based off something factual, right? Now, whether it was the hand of God or natural occurrence that was, the end of that time period where all the glaciers melted fast and we had high rises in seawater. I watched the thing on Netflix from oh God, what's his name? Not Shock. I can't think of his name now, but he's been on Rogan a couple times. He's talked about the past, about there possibly being an advanced civilization before us. And could the technology be? I think the only thing that brings me back to not believing that is when they did find Göbekli Tepe. It seemed like that technology to do those kind of carvings and move those kind of stones could be possible with the tools they had at the time. So if Göbekli Tepe is the oldest known site of structured buildings or places like that, then that didn't look too advanced for me. I mean, yeah, it was advanced to as opposed to a hunter-gatherer, a hunter-gatherer type of people, but I don't know if it's that much to push over saying that we had electricity back then to make those. I don't know. I could be wrong. Yeah, Captain Arma. I got you, man. I know what we've done in 200 years. Yeah, I know. And there could be other civilizations out there in the universe who are way past us, right? And they could be visiting us right now with technology we can't even pick up on. So I totally believe that's possible. Totally do. Pam, that on that show, the guy's voice on that, man, anytime I would be alone when I was younger and dark and that would come on, even I wasn't that young. I wasn't like I was a little kid. His voice freaked me out. I always thought there was someone behind me ready to just put a garrote around my neck. Just waiting for someone to sneak up behind me. They probably are hanging out with KG. That's probably where they got it from. All right, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to get something in my stomach. And then I guess I'm going to go see what they're tweeting to Elon. And I guess I'll go watch CSI's video and see what he's talking about, how this is almost over. We'll see. We'll see what he says. All right, guys. Let me just give a shout out real quick to everyone who came on tonight. Adrian, thank you, Bram. I appreciate you. Lucy and Sky with Diamonds. Pamela, Diaz, Javi, and Prometheus. Guys, thank you all so much for modding for me and Scout tonight. I appreciate it. Can't do this without you guys. So you are a big help, and I love all you guys. Everyone else in the chat, anyone who donated tonight, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate all of you guys showing up tonight and showing support. It's good that we have each other, and this is my fucking world, Adrian. I'm going to bed. All right, guys, love you all. Have a good night. We'll talk soon.